But Sac State men's basketball, they got a W yesterday in overtime. That was a
They did.
that was a hell of a game.
No, it was still regulation.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they fought back. I didn't think they was gonna win that game. It was down like 7 to 11 points for the majority of the second half.
I had the run note. It was like 17, was it 17-2, but it was something like that.
Yeah.
17-2?
Presbyterian
The
Presbyterian basketball team.
what is their name?
Well, I'm a professional. The Blue Hose.
The Blue Hose.
Okay.
Yep.
The Blue Hose.
Yep.
Stop making shots.
It was the working title for Avatar too, if I remember correctly.
What is a
blue hoe?
Yeah, what is a blue hoe?
I don't know.
I don't know. Why don't you Google it and find out?
I want to.
Okay.
But like,
well,
what is preventing you from doing your job?
I don't know how to spell it, so maybe that'll send me H-O-S-E?
Yes.
H-O-S-E?
Yeah, Blue Hose.
All right, I'll do it. I'm doing it from the company tab though. What is a blue?
And let me guess, because I really don't know this.
Oh wait,
is that from South Carolina?
So is this?
I don't know.
Is Presbyterian in South Carolina?
That's a great question.
I that's my guess.
It's a specific type of industrial or agriculture hose.
Yeah, so it's a gardening tool, right? That's a weird mascot.
That is a weird mascot. That you're a gardening tool.
That's why I was like, wait, it's got to mean something else, because then that's just.
But I never
terrible.
heard of it. I've heard of a backhoe, but I've never heard of a blue hoe.
Look, dude, you need to lock in. Not you, Casey. Mr. Faces over there.
I didn't say anything. Kenny over here talking about his back hose, and I'm like, hey, I'm over here trying to get to the bottom of the nickname Blue Hose. The name originated in the early 1900s when sports writers called the teams the Blue Stockings because of the blue socks the players wore. The nickname was later shortened to Blue Hose.
Okay, we're gonna call you the Presbyterian Stallions from now on.
yeah,
like that's what you guys are.
No, you can't go from hose to stallions. You can't do that. We got to think of something different.
They gotta change their name. Like a few years back, maybe even like a decade back, we used to be. Well, no, they just changed the mascot. It was the Cal State East Bay Pioneers, and it was like this Yosemite Sam guy. His name was Pioneer Pete. He had guns, pistols, all this other stuff. That was the mascot. They actually didn't change the name Pioneers. They're still the Pioneers, but Pioneer Pete is gone. Like you don't see that. They need to do that with Presbyterian.
So they changed it from Blue Stockings to Blue Hose.
Should have just been the Blue Sox.
Because the assumption is that it sounded fiercer.
What?
To carry on to the athletic field. I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
So if they were Blue Stockings and they changed it to Blue Hose, the correlation between the two is pantyhose.
Yeah.
They thought the move was to change their mascot name to a shorter version of pantyhose. Can you help me?
First of all, title of the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of material we're working with right now.
Walk me through this process of
to run this
thinking.
segment back.
Walk me through the process of thinking in 1954. Hey, you know what'll be tougher? Stockings doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Let's go with the blue pantyhose. You know what'll be even tougher? If we take the panties out and just call it the Blue Hose.
Oh, man. I don't understand the logic.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have words for you right now. Yeah, I don't know.
Usually, hey, let me give you the other side. This is what they might be thinking.
Yes.
I can't do that in this case.
Great.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Great.
And I don't know. We talk about 1950s, all this other stuff. I don't know. 1985. Hey, guys, maybe we should change this name.
Yeah, we're already 20.
Like, this ain't even really working. You know what I mean? It's not. Why don't we just be the Bears?
The Bulldogs. Perfect. Right there. Bulldogs, Bears.
They could even be, isn't there a college that's the Blue Hens? They could have been the Blue Hens.
Today,
there's the Blue Devil.
Blue Devil.
Today, the name signifies fierce Scottish warriors.
No disrespect.
Well, shout out.
Where's the school located again? In Carolina, he said? South?
No, it was just a guess. I believe it's South Carolina. That's my guess. I don't know for sure. If I get this right, that's definitely a point.
Presbyterian, boy, only thing worse is, oh God, this link said the Presbyterian Blue Hose women's basketball team. Come on, man. Presbyterian Blue Hose. They are, where did you say?
South Carolina.
Clinton, South Carolina.
Let's go.
No, you cheat. You cheat. Stop. You cheat. There's no way. Stop. There's no way that anyone just, let me guess what Presbyterian is.
You absolutely.
Hey, let's go.
No, yeah, that's a random. That's too random a fact to like not know already.
Hey, let's go, boy.
You absolutely cheated.
Hey, that is a point and a half.
You don't get a point.
Let's go.
Yeah, no.
As a matter of fact, you lose a point for acting like
you.
lose a point for acting like
I didn't know nothing about that.
Liar.
I just know my college sports.
On this show right now, to all the chatty house, to me, to Damien, to everybody, say that you didn't know the answer.
I did not know the answer.
Still don't know
the
you.
lies.
You say it if you want to.
I just know my college sports. I know my college sports. Presbyterian, South Carolina, stand up.
No, it's Clinton, South Carolina.
Well, no, I was just saying the school, and I didn't remember the city. It
was a 12-2 run, by the way, at the end of that game.
Shout out to my boy
Take
Prophet.
out the Blue Hose.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to do my job. Like, stop smirking. I'm trying to do my job.
Be the Smurfs or something.
We could have said Presbyterian.
No, Prophet took them hoes out. What you want to do? What you want to do? How many my man Bear Cherry had last night?
How many did Bear have last night?
Bear Cherry had them hoes on skates last night.
Oh, man. Good win for them. But that was not the best Sac State win of the season, of the weekend. Oh,
Bear had 17, and no, it wasn't.
Oh, my goodness.
No,
Saturday
wasn't.
night was crazy.
What a
the one
game.
game this year I didn't go to.
Really?
Best game of the year. And
What
I
a
didn't
game.
go to it.
What
Sac
a
State
game.
football comes back with about 9 seconds to play to beat Idaho to keep their postseason hopes alive. Shout out Cardell Williams with the quarterback keeper scoring with 9 seconds to go.
2 yards out, I think.
And now it sets up high drama Saturday afternoon in Davis. Playoffs on the line, quite possibly. I don't think it'll be forever. Like, I think they'll find a way to circle back around. But I think this will be the last Causeway for a few years. And playoffs on the line. Here's the funny thing about it. I know it's not officially the playoffs. It's a playoff game for Sac State. Like, you want to make the playoffs. Yeah, whatever. Of course you do. This is a playoff. You win and you advance. Lose, go home. It's a playoff game against Davis in one of the last Causeway Classics that we'll see for a few years. Oh, it's high drama.
As we'll bring in a guy who's still smiling. Look, he's just smiling from ear to ear, talking to everybody who's walking by. Coach, you ain't stopped smiling since last week, man.
Man, you know, I was living right. I was just living right.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, Coach. You gave us or at least your players did certainly the most exciting win of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that was a much needed win. Obviously, we're in winter play basketball mode, and Bibby didn't ask me for any of these guys. So, you know, we told our guys, your stuff is either go on the left, the right, or in the middle. If we don't take care of business, and I've been proud of our team for, you know, taking care of business, finding ways to win.
Coach, we talked about it last night, but I want to bring it to the air right now. I kept it a stack. 11 seconds to go. No timeouts. Ball on the 2. I was like, man, if they run the ball here, if they get stuffed. I don't know if they got time for another play. I'm passing the ball. And once again, this is why I just talk about coaching football for a living. I don't actually make the calls because Coach Marion said, no, we're going with the play that I know I feel good about. I feel they can get 2 yards and get into the end zone, little read option action, and you get into the end zone. Was there any thought of maybe what I was thinking, like, hey, maybe pass, get 2 yards, 2 opportunities? It was run the whole time, huh?
Yeah, I had that call ready to go. I knew that was, you guys always talk about basketball, so I'll put it in a basketball term. You got Steph Curry. If you're the team down the road that wins a lot, you got Steph Curry, and you got a certain amount of seconds left. You're gonna make sure he shoots the ball. And on that play, it was our two best guys, either Rodney Hammond or Cardale Williams. They were gonna take that ball in, and our O-line was, excited for that because we've been really good at being a running team. I always feel like I want to make the decision that doesn't make me feel like the village idiot if it doesn't go right. I want to make sure I don't stop the players from having success. If we're not a great passing team, why would we do that with the game on the line? Let's do what we're really good at.
Well, shout out to my man Kenny, who says, Coach, I know you're the best rushing team in the country. Just go away from that. Let's try something
Once
different
again,
here.
that's why I talk about it. He actually does it.
We threw it down there. We threw it down there. We got it down there with the throws, but we had to close it out with the run.
We all hear, wins are wins, losses are losses, or all that stuff. From a fan perspective, games like that are really energizing. Like they're amazing. And, you kind of, I know we were buzzing about it for a couple of days. Do wins like that, and obviously it means a lot for you for the direction you're trying to go. Do they feel any different than, a blowout victory or a comfortable win? Do games like that, do they feel different for you and your football team?
No, I think the biggest feeling that our team had was we've been in games like that this year, and we came out on the side of it not going our way, and feeling like, man, we won the game, but it didn't go our way, and having to take that L and learn that lesson. And in this game, we were able to go accomplish and go down there and do what we needed to do to win the game. And so I think that's where, the jubilation or that's kind of where that joy came from, just from, all right, we've been in this situation before, did not go our way. This one went our way, and we win the game.
Talk a little bit about Cardale and, having him score that game-winning touchdown. And, we talked a little bit about it, but just the nature of the position. And then you guys having a lot of eyes on you and a lot of attention on you. It's been a scrutinized position for Cardale, and he's had some ups and downs. And, people want to point out the downs and not look at the ups and all this other stuff. And in the biggest moment of the season, he showed up like I know you believed he could. I felt great for him, seeing him get that moment and be able to have that moment for his teammates and with his teammates. But talk about you as a coach who, work with him very closely every single day, seeing him have that moment on Saturday to lead the team to victory.
Yeah, it's always tough to be in a leadership role. I mean, anytime you're in a leadership role, head coach, quarterback, president of a school, when it goes right, you're a hero. When it goes wrong, it's like, can we get the old coach back? Can we get the other quarterback in? Can we, fire this guy? And unfortunately, that used to be like at the end of seasons in sports. Now it's every day. I mean, it's like every moment to moment, frame by frame, people are so finical about, who's in a leadership role. Because I guess everybody, can just YouTube how to be a coach or a quarterback and then do it. Like it's so easy to accomplish that. But Cardale, I mean, he's 7-2 as the starter. And it's hard to win in college football. And so I've been really proud of how he's taken every single turn that he's been faced with, all the adversities, guys in and out of the lineup. He hasn't complained about that. He's just tried to do his job at a high level every time out. He tries not to make the same mistake twice. And he's developed. And I told him the best stat at quarterback is winning. And you look at a guy who has our program turned around. We talked about, we went from, they won 3 games last year, and everybody was upset and up in arms about a guy who decided to leave our program that won 3 games. And we have a guy here that people won't support or give any praise to for whatever reason. And he's 7-2 in our program right now. So I'm just proud of him for, having enough intrinsic motivation to believe in himself and believe in the program and put us in a position to sitting here now, a couple of days away from the opportunity to go play postseason play.
Coach, it's your first Causeway Classic, man, and it couldn't be
grand opening, grand close,
man. Well, okay, yeah, that's right. It's your first and last Causeway Classic, apparently, but believe the reports out there. But man, the stage couldn't be set any bigger for the matchup with the school down the road with UC Davis, and that's a good football team, man. So you guys, if you guys get a playoff spot, you're going to earn it with the way that you've played lately and the way you're going to have to play this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Coach Plo and those guys over there for making it a meaningful game. Both of our programs have made this a meaningful game in which it has playoff implications. It's not just the tradition of the rivalry. It's also a game that, determines both of our programs' futures as far as being in the postseason. So, anytime you play in a game like this, you already know it's of significance because there's a trophy involved. The game has been played for years. There's a big, emphasis on the game already. But then, you want to talk about being in November and playing meaningful football. Now both programs have put it where this game means a lot from the standpoint of what we do, moving forward.
Yeah. And you guys, I feel, there's obviously the postseason is the postseason, but you guys have been playing playoff like basketball or football, for the past 4 weeks or so. Like every game has been like, we got to win this to kind of keep our hopes alive for like the last 3-4 games. So you have been playing playoff football and playoff games for quite some time now. And you go in on Saturday and it's going to be, this is what we've been doing. This ain't nothing new.
Yeah. I mean, every game, every rep has a story of its own, but, I just like where our guys, where I really am proud of our team and our coaches is after Montana game, I just told everybody the straight up truth on where we were at as a team, that it was not good enough. And we look like we're full of crap. Honestly, we look like we're all hype and not actually real. And we put a lot of work in. And if we want to be taken seriously, we first have to take ourselves seriously. And the only thing people respect is winning. And if we wanted an opportunity to be a postseason team, we need to win. We need to stop we're developing, we're a young team, we had 70 new guys, all the excuses. We need to take those excuses and use them as reasons to execute. And when we talked about one great year could change our life, that didn't mean not being in the postseason or not, taking advantage of the opportunity of being here, being where our feet are and embracing the now. And so I'm just proud of our guys because, everybody just wants a friend now. They don't want an accountability partner. They don't want somebody who's actually giving them the real. Everybody in our program took the truth and did what they needed to do to put our program in a positive light from a winning standpoint.
Coach, I'm confident I know the answer to this, but we've seen your mom, your beautiful wife, the beautiful kids all over, social media. And, there's a holiday coming up. Do they dare broach the subject of Thanksgiving dinner with you with what the next couple of weeks might look like? No. Yeah. The better question might be, Coach, did you know a holiday is coming up? Yeah, Coach had no clue. I just broke news to Coach here on the show. He had no idea.
So, what holiday?
We'll send you some text reminders that Christmas is on the way. Yeah,
that tunnel business.
Yeah.
I got you. Understood. Well, we're locked in, man. We're excited for this one.
If y'all need some greens, though, we got a guy here on staff, Lem. Coach Lem. He
Lem cook like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a second. If Lim making the greens, I got questions.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions.
He makes them greens with shrimp in them. That arugula greens.
There's Lim right there, man. Tell him, hey, man, what you talking about, man?
That
checks out. He also, the turkey, he only going to serve you the turkey breast. He ain't going to serve you.
He don't eat meat. Lim don't do that. He don't eat meat.
Yeah, oh, that's right. He's gonna serve you some fish instead. That's what he'll serve you.
I'm not mad at that. I'll take some fish. I'm about to see that Thanksgiving about to be wow.
Then you got to do push-ups. You got to do push-ups before you eat.
No, push-ups if you're lucky. He gonna make you run that turf that he got over there at the facility. He gonna make you run up and down, Terrence Mitchell Field or whatever it is over at the Game Fit facility.
You're dragging a tire.
I've done them Thanksgiving morning workouts with Lynn before.
Woo.
Yeah, he makes you. When you talk about work for food, that man makes you work for your food.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go play the turkey bowl with the OGs, with the unks. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna play the turkey bowl. Well, all-time quarterback. That's me.
You gonna come in with one of them DeMontis Sabonis injuries.
No, I ain't running. I'm all-time quarterback, bro. I ain't running no routes.
Hey, good luck this weekend, Coach. Man, we're excited. This is gonna be a hell of a way to shut down the Causeway Classic for a while, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of people. I even talking to some this morning. There are going to be a lot of people making that trek out there for this one.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Stingers up. Appreciate y'all.
I was just texting our friend Jill Adge a second ago, and it was like, I can't remember a Kings season going this bad this quickly.
Well, first off, if you could refer to me by my Google name at MattGeorge1323, I'd really I'd really appreciate it, because there's
my apologies.
There's 1,322 of us apparently. Yeah, man, this has gone like even the most pessimistic of us were like, yeah, this probably isn't going to work. This might be a rough year, but I don't know if 3-12 and no Keegan Murray through the first 15 games, Domantas Sabonis out spottingly for the first 15 games and now out for the next 3 to 4 weeks. It's the worst start to the Kings season since 1990-1991, which, if you really put that into perspective, that means the entire playoff drought, the NBA record playoff drought, the Kings never started this bad. That includes a season where the Kings won just 17 games. And you remember what happened that season? They fell to the 4th pick, which was the worst possible lottery odds that the Kings could have. So we went through some dark times during that nearly 20-year stretch, and the Kings were never this bad through the first 15 games of the season, which really puts things into perspective. But yeah, man, I mean, this is a point where I know obviously the team's on the road, so they can't all gather around a conference table, but maybe Scott Perry and Vivek Ranadive and all the brass are traveling right now or enjoying Memphis, Tennessee, and they can all get into a room and sit around a table and goes, guys, it is what it is. Like, this is where we're at. This is the reality of the situation. It's time to just embrace and accept that this season is a wash. It's not about basketball from here on out, except for the guys playing who we believe are going to be a part of the core going forward. That's Keegan Murray. That's Neat Clifford. That's Maxime Reynaud. I'll even throw Keon Ellis in there because, like I've shared many times, I understand the plan to be extending Keon when they are eligible to extend him if he wants to later on in the season. So the basketball is important for those guys. But everything else is about Scott Perry, this front office, and addressing the needs of this organization and restarting going forward. The writing's on the wall, and if there's any positivity in this, guys, one, it's the fact that this is a very strong draft. Two, the Kings have full control over their draft picks going forward. Three, believe it or not, as much as this roster is not good, they have a number of tradable assets that can get them some sort of return, even if it's a couple second-round picks. Like, you have tradable assets that I do believe teams will be interested in. And finally, it's not like you're embracing this reality in January when you're 2 games out of the play-in spot. Like, you're not in the no man's land middle of the pack. You are in the cellar of the standings, meaning you have great draft lottery odds. It is better now to be where the Kings are at, believe it or not, standings-wise, than it would be for them to be a little more competitive and a little closer to 500 as we expected them to be. So accept the reality for what it is and proceed accordingly. And I think that there's also an element of that is, I think an honest conversation needs to happen between Doug Christie and Scott Perry and even Vivek Ranadive if he wants to sit at the table. And I think what Vivek and Scott and management owes to Doug Christie is, hey, we're giving you the confidence, we're giving you the support, we're giving you the green light. Prioritize now playing the pieces that we believe are going to be a part of the future. That doesn't mean Zach LaVine gets 0 minutes and DeMar DeRozan gets 0 minutes. Those guys still play, but they don't have to play 35 minutes a night. And you don't have to be afraid that losing basketball games right now means you're not going to have a job after this 2 guaranteed years of your contract. Like, give Doug Christie the confidence that he does not have to win with this horrible veteran roster in order to keep his job. Like, let him do what needs to be done for this organization going forward. I hope everybody just recognizes where they're at and where they should go from here.
Real quick, Jaren Jackson Jr. officially ruled out tonight.
Yes.
Even if that remotely still matters.
No, it matters. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's good.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is out tonight.
Matt, do you think this changed their approach? Like Sabonis going down, do you think this changed Scott Perry's approach? Vivek, Doug Christie, whoever, and I asked that question saying, do you think they were already kind of on the time of, it's time to, think about the future?
I think they were probably walking the tightrope, and then this news just should push them over the edge. Because what I was curious about is there was always this element of, when Keegan Murray comes back, see what you have, right? See, you throw your original starting lineup out there that you went through the entire training camp with. Just see what you have. And I don't think anybody expected Keegan Murray to come back and save the sinking ship or anything like that. But the way I looked at it, what I talked about on Locked On Kings a couple episodes ago, is there should have been a short-term and a long-term plan for Keegan Murray's return. I think the short term is you take 10 to 15 games. And again, this was assuming that Domantas Sabonis was fine and was going to be okay and was going to play through like he always has. Like, bring Keegan Murray back in, and for 10 to 15 games, plug him into the initial role with that initial lineup and see how it impacts how they play. Like, there should be some things that are immediately better. The defense should be at least a little bit better. The rebounding should be at least a little bit better with Keegan Murray out there. The spacing should be at least a little bit better. Does that mean the Kings are going to start winning basketball games? Probably not. But see how Domas or Levine or Malik or any of these guys that you're quote-unquote evaluating right now, see how they benefit from playing with Keegan Murray, who you do believe is going to be part of your long-term plan, and use that context to help further your decision of who you want to keep and who you need to move on from going forward. Now that Domas is gone for the next 3 to 4 weeks, likely the next month, which puts you firmly in December, firmly into trade season. We're talking about him coming back after Christmas time or around Christmas time. Like, at that point, I think what the Kings are waiting on to make moves is not Scott Perry to go, okay, now I'm ready to trade DeMar. I think it's, okay, now a team is ready to trade for DeMar because they know what they have, or they know where they're at, or what they need going forward, right? That's kind of, as we talked about last week, that's why the Kings are in this evaluation period, is it takes 2 to tango. They can't just force other teams to be ready to trade for their assets. So to answer your question, KC, I think the Kings always kind of had an idea of where they were headed. And now that Keegan's back and immediately the same game he comes back, they lose Domas for around a month, I think they can go, yeah, like, it doesn't matter. By the time Domas gets back, we probably should be feeling pretty good about being able to move some of these players.
What do you think they do? This was we're laughing through the pain. Like, what do you want?
That's all
like
we can do.
They're 15 games in and it's over. But we were talking, like, some jokingly, some not, about, like, what do you do now? Like, you with DeMar, Russ, now Precious, Isaac Jones in the past. You have like a multitude of options depending on matchups that you could have done there at the 4. You can't really do that at the 5. Is it as simple as Drew Eubanks is your starting center moving forward? Or, do we see something? Do you think we see something a little more creative from this team in this front office?
I mean, I think for the time being, it has to be Drew. Like, Maxime Reynaud getting more playing time doesn't mean, all right, Max, you're starting. Here's 35 minutes a night. Good luck, kid. Like, I don't think we have to go fully over the edge there. I do believe the young guys should and hopefully will start playing more. That doesn't mean that they're going to start and that DeMar is going to move to the bench or Zach's going to move to the bench or anything like that. Like, it doesn't have to be one extreme or the other. Like, I think Kings fans are ultimately going to start to get now what they want. And it's not going to be fun to watch. Like, growing pains are not fun to watch. Now, it's easier in theory I could stomach the Kings losing, but seeing the young guys play because I can apply future context to that. I get that, but it's not going to be good. It's not going to be fun. There are going to be moments. There are going to be flashes. Like I hope to see Neat Clifford get the confidence to shoot 15 times and hopefully score 20 points. That would be awesome. But those moments are going to be few and far between. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't happen or that the Kings shouldn't start to play these guys more. But I'm not expecting all right, even though the writing's on the wall, now Maxime is going to start because Domas is out and Keegan Murray should be out there with Neat Clifford in the starting lineup. And Russell Westbrook, I'm glad you're here. Enjoy your 15 minutes a night and then sit on the bench and collect your paycheck. Like that's just not realistic. The good news is the Sacramento Kings don't have to drastically change what they're doing to quote unquote tank or to lose basketball games. Now they can just make adjustments that, again, Doug Christie needs to have the confidence from the front office to make the needed adjustments to. I'm going to take some minutes from these top guys and distribute them amongst the young guys because that's what ultimately helps us today, helps us tomorrow. And I'm not a subscriber to any belief that playing Zach LaVine and playing DeMar DeRozan or any of these guys right now is good to increase their trade value. Like all 29 general managers in the league know exactly who these players are and have a pretty good understanding or idea of what that player would bring to their roster and therefore what that player is worth. Like every team who's interested in having a scorer off the bench knows exactly who DeMar DeRozan is and has a pretty solid idea of who Malik Monk is too. So Malik and DeMar playing 25 to 35 minutes, it's not going to change things. That being said, they should still be playing 15, 20, 25 minutes because of who they are. It's not like their minutes are just going to simply go down to zero or should go down to zero. That's just not realistic.
Do you think, we asked this question earlier, do you think that you can accurately assess Doug Christie because of all this?
Yeah, I stand by what I said going into the season with you guys, right? I still don't think like Doug can fail. Like how can we look at everything that's going on with this roster and say it's Doug Christie's fault? Like we don't have to make excuse. It's not an excuse to acknowledge he's never had a healthy roster, while also knowing full well that even if he did have a healthy roster, probably wouldn't have been much better. Because like we were talking about before Doug inherited this roster, it's a hodgepodge island of misfit toys, whatever like metaphor we wanted to use for a collection of talent that individually is very, very good. But as a team, they're not. Like I laid this out on the podcast last night. Individually, each one of these players have specific strengths. DeMar DeRozan, incredible mid-range isolation scorer. Zach LaVine, incredible three-level scorer, or at least he's supposed to be when he's actually shooting the basketball. Domantas Sabonis, incredible rebounder and great passer for a center. Like you can go down and identify the individual strengths of each of these players. But as a team, do the Kings have a strength? No, they don't. And saying, well, offense is their strength, they can score the basketball. Can they? Because they haven't been. They're one of the worst offenses in the league, and they're very easy to game plan against. Pack the paint, dare them to shoot. Hopefully Keegan Murray coming back helps that a little bit, but Keegan Murray's never going to save this team, and we knew that, even if he's shooting 15 to 20 times a game. So, like, I don't think Doug Christie can fail with this group. I think Doug Christie's job is very specific now. It's usher in the new era while respectfully showing the veterans who aren't part of it the door. And this is where Doug's being a relatable former player, someone who has the respect of that locker room, I think this is where we're going to feel that value the most. We felt that value when Mike Brown was fired and he managed to somehow right that ship a little bit and get that team to somehow be above 500 for the remainder of that season. A lot of that was personality driven. Now Doug Christie's personality needs to shine through to hopefully keep this group as together and motivated as possible to accomplish each of their individual goals at this point. Because I look at this locker room and I see a bunch of individuals with individual goals for the remainder of the season, not a team that's unified to win basketball games. That just sounds like empty words.
Is it too controversial to say we don't know that Doug has the respect of that locker room?
No,
I don't. Seen these guys go out there and half-ass it in like fourth quarters and halves and entire games. Like, I wouldn't do that for a coach that I respected.
I think I think these Kings players disrespect the Kings as an organization and disrespect the Kings as an identity more than they do Doug Christie as the coach of that organization identity. Because every single one of these players will be able to go to their agent or go to their friends or go to their next team and go, yeah, it didn't work, but it's Sacramento. Like DeMar DeRozan has a career of success, and it has not worked at all since he was traded here. And are the history books ever going to blame DeMar DeRozan for that? No, they're going to blame the Sacramento Kings for that, and every player is aware of that. So I don't think they're disrespecting Doug Christie. I don't think they're motivated to give their all for Doug Christie like Doug expects or wants because of the circumstances, because of the situation. And like I said to you guys at the beginning of the season too, if any of those players, if it ever comes out that any of those players that Doug's lost the locker room or they don't want to play for Doug, hey man, pack your bags and we'll try and send you to the best place that we can that makes sense for you and makes sense for us. We're going to try and do right by you, but ultimately we have to do right by us as an organization too. Like, I don't care. A lot of the players that are here were kind of responsible for the exit of the last coaching staff and the last coaching regime. So they need to wear that too. And ultimately it's going to all fall under the umbrella of Sacramento Kings ineptitude. And here we are again.
Man, goodness gracious. This all happened.
The season's
so
like a
fast.
month old,
Yeah,
by the way.
And that's what I mean when I talk about this happened. Like the season is ended.
It's going to be spring when we stop doing this. We're going to have Christmas, New Year's, Valentine. Kids are going to be on spring break, and then finally we'll be on to something else.
Man, so Matt, help us out here. Help the listening public out. What are you watching for with this team moving forward? Like what are outside of it being your job? What are you trying to see when you watch this team on a nightly basis?
If they're still going to be on the same channel as the San Jose Sharks, so I can flex them out and watch the Sharks play. No,
Sharks.
Yeah, I'm not a hockey guy at all. I know nothing about the Sharks. God, I don't know. I think I'm watching Scott Perry. I'm watching this front office. Like, all eyes are on this front office. Now, everything on the court just seems pretty inconsequential. I'm looking at each player individually for specific things if I believe those players will be around long term. I'm watching the trade deadline to see if Scott lives up to his words. Whatever moves he's able to make, do they fit that plan? Like, does it make sense? I guess that's the answer, Casey. The remainder of this season, I want to make sense from the context of what management is telling me. Every player that they trade for either needs to fit that vision or make sense as to why they would acquire that player. For example, if they don't fit the vision, but they're a high money expiring contract that you needed to bring in order to move Domas or Zach LaVine or something. Okay, they're going to fall off the books anyway. Same way I kind of look at Dario Saric. Like, I don't think Dario Saric fits the vision at all for Doug Christie and Scott Perry here. But I know he's got $5 million this year, and next year he's gone, and we never have to think about him again. Like, so if you go out and get a player like that, that at least makes sense to me because you're opening up your books. But if you're actually acquiring a young player for Malik Monk or DeMar DeRozan trade, does that young player fit the mold of what you're trying to do? Or is it another 6'4" guard that you're just like, well, here we go again. It's the same recycled thing. Like, I'm going to judge everything that the Sacramento Kings do from here on out as, does it fit what the consistent, or the only thing that we have to look forward to in the future is this image or idea of what the Sacramento Kings are supposed to be under Scott Perry. So do their moves now fit that narrative or fit that idea? If they don't, I better be able to come up with a good explanation, or the Kings better be able to provide a good explanation of why they're making that move right now and how it does fit the plan. Because a lot of the moves that they've made over the last 6 to 12 months really haven't fit any sort of long-term plan.
Why do you think Zach LaVine is protesting playing basketball right now?
I guess this might just be who he is. Like, you guys remember last season, the final third of the season after the Kings traded for him, he had that week and a half where he just stopped shooting. Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, okay, like Doug Christie used the, not excuse, but said, like, Zach's trying to be a good teammate. He's trying to fit in. Okay, I can understand that. Zach just moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, Chicago to Sacramento, after his wife just had a child. Like, okay, lot of life circumstances at the end of a kind of a lost season, even though Zach was putting up great numbers. Okay, we can kind of accept that. Yeah, that's gone. And talking to some friends from Chicago, like, no, that Zach would do this. Even when he was shooting 45% from three-point range, there would be a week where his shooting percentage would still be good. The volume would not be there. And that's what's so perplexing is Zach LaVine's averaging like 14.7 points per game during the 7-game losing streak. But he's shooting 46 or like 47% from the field. He's still shooting efficiently, but he's not shooting. He's shooting 11 times a game. Like he should be at 15 plus. He's averaging 15 field goal attempts a game. And if he's shooting 11 right now and shooting 11 per game over this 7-game stretch, that just goes to show you how much he was shooting early in the season when he was averaging 30 points. This just might be who Zach LaVine is, right? Like he is not going to give you the same amount of volume for 82 games. And I mean, a part of LaVine's reputation is he's a guy that will put up numbers on a bad team or against bad teams in a rather meaningless game, but in important games that you won't really notice him. You won't really see him. So, hey man, that's the player that you decide to trade De'Aaron Fox for. And I know Fox had his own reputation for taking games off and not giving 100% himself, but
I long for those days.
Here's where you are. Like, no, but what did I say on this show, D'Lo? It wasn't about like, don't trade De'Aaron Fox. He's the greatest king of all time. It was, do not mess this trade up because it can set you back for years. And there's no reason to believe that the way this season has started and the work that Scott Perry has to put in, that we're not in year, 2, 3? If we don't include the play-in, year 3 of a playoff drought. Like, here we go again. There's no reason to believe that this is not going to take years for Scott Perry to clean up, and hopefully he can do so effectively. And hopefully what I reported and shared with you last week, that ownership has given him the time to do this effectively. Hopefully that's not just words. There's actual action behind it. Because when this is still ugly a year to 2 years from now, but hopefully there's young players to get excited about and you're going somewhere, when this is still ugly and Kings ticket sales are down and the team is losing for the 3rd straight year, hopefully there's not panic from up top and you just let it play out and let it ride out.
I have great news, KC. I thought of this last night. I can't remember how long it was, but remember Jimmy Butler bailed out Minnesota from having the longest playoff drought.
That's right.
They made the playoffs with Jimmy, then went on to miss the playoffs for the next 3 seasons. Guys, we're right on track.
That's it.
Everything's fine. And before you know it, we'll be in 2 straight NBA finals, and some guy in Minnesota will go, yeah, I don't think Sacramento's very good.
But didn't they had the number 1 overall pick? Didn't that happen?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They picked right.
Yeah, they picked right.
They picked right.
They got it right.
They didn't listen to Steve Kerr, huh? Do you remember that story when Steve told him?
I do remember that story.
Steve told Ant we would not draft you because you're not focused enough or whatever. And Ant tells that story with pride because he said that's what kind of woke him up. So shout out Steve Kerr.
Shout out Steve Kerr. Just find out who he wouldn't draft this time when
take that player.
Yeah, and take that.
Who's the Rudy Gobert we're going to trade for, though?
Oh boy.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later, guys. It's fine.
Ball.
Anthony Davis.
Oh gosh, Anthony Davis. Well, no, wait a minute. Well, never mind. Goodness gracious, that's a tough one. Matt, you still got podcasts to do, man. You can't bail out.
Like the Panthers podcast.
Yeah, you can't quit like the Panthers guys did.
We're not quitting. We're in it, baby. I was born in the dark. I thrive in it. No, we're gonna try and, like you said, kind of laugh our way through the pain and have fun, and hopefully things are simplified and we can enjoy things for what they are, and then when trades start happening and moves start happening, we'll see what happens. You both are smiling. Did I say something?
No, you didn't say anything at all. I'm just looking at some of our notes for the show that, like, for things that we were gonna do today, and the Domas stuff, like, obviously it sometimes you just got to adjust. You got to ditch what you planned. And like, I'm looking at, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense anymore. Cause you can't, like, one of the things was like, if the Kings, if I said, what would it take for the Kings to turn around this season? What would your answer be? This makes no sense anymore because they can't do it. Like Domas is a player who it's not happening. I'd feel differently, and I've made jokes about this. I'll say this and I'll leave it alone. I'd feel differently if Jonas Valanciunas was still here. He's a starting center. Like, I know he played the backup role in Sacramento. Obviously, he's playing, a backup role to arguably the greatest player in the world. That's fine. Jonas Valanciunas is a starting caliber center in the NBA. I would feel very, very different if he was still a Sacramento King, and I'd still say maybe you can get some stability with Keegan Murray. Maybe you can get some things worked out. Is it going to be at a great clip? No, but the way the bottom of the West looks like, who knows? Maybe they are competing for a play-in in the final handful of weeks of the season. I don't feel like you can have that conversation with Domantas Sabonis out. I feel like you could have had it with DeMar out, maybe even with Zach LaVine out. I don't feel like you could do it with Domantas Sabonis.
But what if we adjust the definition of what turn around the season means through like win and loss standpoint and getting this team back into even the play-in picture at this point? Throw that out the window. But would it be considered turning around the season for Scott Perry to find a way to bring in a 23-year-old or younger with upside to plug next to a Keegan or a Neek or both and just give you something to at least be a little curious about or excited about going forward? Because I think that's what so many Kings fans are frustrated about is I look at this roster and I know what they are, so I'm not curious about anything. I'm not excited about anything. I know this name is exhausting to everybody, but believe it or not, after the Warriors signed Jonathan Kuminga to a contract that they want that would help them make a trade, the Golden State Warriors are opening to trade Jonathan Kuminga. Whoa. Shocking. So I don't know how the Kings do it. I don't know how it gets done, but I'm not saying Kuminga specifically, but I'm saying a Kuminga-esque player, someone who's young with upside. Bring them here to Sacramento. I'm not saying the basketball would be better or even that much fun, but give me a different reason to watch this game or watch this team for the final 40, 50 games of the season or whatever after the trade deadline. That to me is turning around the season to some capacity because now I've got something to watch that's different that I can at least apply. Because we sat through years upon years upon years of the Kings being bad, but young De'Aaron Fox was on the team. Young DeMarcus Cousins was on the team. Even, I don't know, when young Buddy Hield, like all these players that were drafted that didn't end up working out, but at least we sat through a season with the context of what is that player, what can they become? That's what the Kings need to do. That on the floor, that is the best thing the Kings can do for themselves this season is go out and Scott Perry needs to find a guy. He doesn't have to have all the upside on the planet, but find a guy that fits that mold going forward that's 23 or younger. Bring him to Sacramento and let Kings fans be curious about what that can be.
Yeah, I think the answer to your question is yes, because I think that would bring a level of excitement for Kings fans. Get a young player here. You're getting to see what you asked for to begin with. Yeah, sure.
Can I ask you guys a question?
No,
you just did.
That's true. I did just ask a question. Would you guys even consider trading for LaMelo Ball?
Oh God, I knew it.
Stop, Kenny.
I knew it. I knew when I saw that.
Today. Well, no. It only came up because what you just said. Like,
do you think LaMelo Ball would get the fan base excited?
A segment of the fan base. I mean, I like him. I'm not sure I would. And
is LaMelo better than Trey?
Man, that's tough. They're about the same.
Kind of the same player.
They're about the same, and LaMelo's taller and younger.
How tall is LaMelo? 6'8"?
Yeah.
Well, excuse me, sir. LaMelo just turned 24. He no longer makes the cut.
It doesn't make the cut.
Technicality.
Yeah. Nope. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I like LaMelo, and I don't even know if I'd.
You do?
I'd for him.
Are you sure? What was the conversation during the summer?
He loves LaMelo.
Yeah. I'm being sarcastic because I remember a certain conversation about LaMelo being one of the most influential players in the league or something like that during the offseason. I wanted to yell at you.
With children.
I don't know about it. That's the right word, but I get what you're saying. And he can play. You just can't trust that guy though.
Well, if LaMelo's sick of Charlotte, I don't think Sacramento's the easiest sell on the planet to you. Hey, bud.
Back in California, that would be the only thing that might get him hyped up. But,
Yeah, enjoy the state tax.
Right.
Ooh. Well, I think Carolinas have taxes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like California though.
No, there's nothing like California except Connecticut. I think Connecticut's the only one that is as bad or worse.
D'Lo, you're a little rough on yourself. I mean, there's things that still work in the rundown. You look at there's nothing this team does well. They don't shoot well. There's no movement in offense. They have one of the worst offenses and one of the worst defenses in the league. That still applies.
Yeah, good job, D'Lo.
Thank you. I just feel like all conversations of turning this thing around have to stop.
Oh no, that don't work.
Are you ready to do 4 hours a day on that exact point until April?
No.
How much vacation time you got?
No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna weigh the credence that Off the Wall might be a better album than Thriller.
About to say,
Or-
that's the NBA hour with D'Lo and KC.
Yeah, we got the NBA hour, we got Entertainment Tonight, and then the rest will be used to cover football.
Hey, I'm
Nick
leaving.
Cattle's always wanted it to be a football market. Well, buddy, we got you. Congratulations. Here we are.
I'm taking the kiddo to Disneyland. We're leaving on Saturday, and I could not have planned a better time for this vacation. I'm missing 2 Kings games. Oh no.
Not fun. Anything. Yeah, not fun. Wait, when are you guys going?
We leave Saturday.
Oh, that's fun.
Get back Wednesday.
It's okay. I think they're playing Minnesota again.
Yep.
You're not actually missing anything. You just have to draw back on the notes from the game prior.
The 2 games I'm missing are Denver for the 3rd time and Minnesota for the 3rd time. I'm just fine.
Oh my God.
I'm just fine. Been there, done that.
Oh my God. Goodness gracious.
If you missed the Long Time Kings podcast, just go back to the last time those 2 teams played. It'll be the same thing.
Have we talked about Dylan with Matt? I don't think we have.
Cardwell?
Yeah. What do we see him now a little bit more? Kind of in the mix with the big club, given that they could use a big body. And I was saying earlier, like I recognize his flaws, like I see them, but he has a ton of energy. And if we're about vibes and fun, I like Dylan. Throw him out there.
Dylan Cardwell was Doug Christie's KZ Okpala. Like, just started the season and randomly started playing a lot.
KZ Okpala.
And then just never played again, and then disappeared inside. No, remember, as a two-way player, he only has a certain amount of days that he can suit up and be available. And the Kings burned through a lot of those days in the first few weeks of the season, so they had to kind of dial it back a little bit. I think the correct answer is yes to some extent, but like, Dylan was getting more playing time than Maxime Reynaud at the time. And I think we understand Dylan's skill sets at the NBA level more than Maxime's, but we also know that Maxime's ceiling or we believe Maxime's ceiling to be a lot higher than Dylan's is. So if Dylan's getting more playing time, that's fine. I hope it's not more than Maxime Reynaud's. And like we talked about earlier, at least for the short term, I don't see Maxime Reynaud playing more than like Drew Eubanks right now. So I think Dylan is good where he's at, and he's doing great in the G League, and hopefully the Stockton Kings can give us something exciting to root for, because it won't be happening here in Sacramento. But I think Dylan will be part of the process, but I wouldn't look to him as like, there's the answer. He gets a lot more playing time.
Well, no, I'm definitely not suggesting he could be an answer. I just like, well, why not more than anything else?
But that's the same thing with Max. That, like, for me, Max 25 minutes. Why not? Max, by the way, almost played 20 minutes last night. Played like 18 and a half. He was the only positive plus minus on the team. Knocked down the 3. Looked good. Needs more than 4 rebounds in 18 minutes, but we'll get there.
And that's going to be
Chet Holmgren knocking down threes and not rebounding.
That's something that's going to frustrate me from Max, and it's something that has frustrated me since I said he's not a good rebounder to be 7-1 or whatever it is.
We spotted that in summer league. Like, he can't grab the basketball.
Well, he needs to get stronger too. Like, he just gets pushed around. He needs to hit the weight room. We already knew this. Like, he needs to get stronger, and he needs to have more of a presence in the paint. But he looks a whole heck of a lot more comfortable with the NBA game now than he did those first couple weeks of the season. And all you can ask for as a guy like that is you see tangible growth. We've seen it. Still got a long way to go, but he looks like a lot more comfortable player now. Now we just need Nick Clifford to be a little more comfortable, because he does not really look comfortable right now. Or I think comfortable like being aggressive and shooting the basketball in a way that's like, this is what we need from you off the bench. He still looks like he's a little timid to maybe take that shot when DeMar DeRozan's there on the floor with him or Zach LaVine's on the floor with him. Take that shot, Rook.
Good thing about Nick, though, he maybe even more so than Max is he's shown signs.
Oh, 100%.
Like, he has games where it's like, hey, this is going to be a good basketball player right here.
No, he's capable of playing the NBA game. That's not what I'm saying. Like, he looks like an NBA player out there. Now, the next level for him is just the confidence to be more than just a role player. Like, hey, go out and go try some things. Like, that's what the rest of the season should be for. Try some things. Throw up some crazy shots. Go 4 for 15 in the game. I don't care. Try it. That's what's next for Neek.
The Kings will not have suffered any worse injuries than the ones that they have the first 11 weeks of the season.
It's true.
Like, whatever happens next, no matter what it is, it's not that bad.
Not that bad.
Like, it literally, like, between Keegan and Domas, well, as long as Keegan's relatively healthy, they should be okay. As long as Domas is relatively healthy, okay. The NBA God said, no, dog. No. Go to hell.
We got that out the way. Now in January, we can move on with the rest of the season.
Well, basketball doesn't really start till after Christmas, so good news for Kings fans.
Well, let's put it this way. The two most irreplaceable players on the roster are the two guys that they can least afford to lose. They've lost for extended periods of time. So, hey, basketball gods are saying, Kings, accept what you are and get that tank started. So maybe the basketball gods are showing us some love finally. It's a tankathon, everyone.
Well, no, maybe Scott Perry should listen.
Oh, well.
Maybe the Kings organization should listen.
And we get the 8th pick.
Also,
after all of this,
that's a June conversation. Nope. Mentally prepare yourself, Kings fans.
I'm going to tankathon right now.
Nothing goes our way.
We're doing a live tankathon sim right now just to see. Okay, Kings are in fifth best odds. Survey says they moved down to 6. All right.
Yeah. No, great, Matt. That's a great way to end the show.
Brooklyn. Oh, no, this is good. Brooklyn won. Utah jumped up 8 spots, and New Orleans gets the 3rd pick, which goes to Atlanta. That's good. That's good.
I just did one. I got them to 4. They're at 4.
This is so sad.
Yeah. This is great.
Let's do one more.
Thursday, November 20th, the day that basketball died.
Ooh, Kings dropped down to 7 in this one. Washington wins. Portland.
How about you stop, Matt? How about that? You know what? We'll see.
I
you
just
guys
did it
tomorrow.
too. I got 7th as well.
I got 9th.
Bro, just end the show.
Vamos, Kings like the beam.
On ESPN 1320.
That's the Insiders. That's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. Damian Barling here for the handoff. And, man, as Kenny's pulling a Kings. Kings didn't show up last night, so Kenny said to hell with it. Me neither.
Yeah.
Hey, Damian.
Hey, man. What's good?
What's the Kings.
What's good? No, definitely not the Kings. I am kind of chuckling at this ESPN thing about Tim Bontemp saying Zach LaVine was removed from the starting lineup. It's like, come on, man.
Brother.
I have to hope maybe he perused Twitter. I have to hope what he meant was Zach LaVine didn't play in the 4th corner. Zach LaVine was removed from the closing line. You have to hope that it's just not this blissfully ignorant as to like just a fountain of misinformation.
I'll tell you exactly what happened with that. That got reported by a different outlet. It was wrong.
That that Zach was removed from the starting lineup. Oh wow, okay.
It got aggregated by places like Underdog. The person who reported it deleted it because it was wrong. All the aggregation places deleted it. Tim Bontemps must have seen the aggregation and just clocked it, and that was as much as he paid attention to the Kings. Didn't even bother to look at a box score. Didn't even bother to go, wow, is that
crazy?
He does. Like, he could have just reached out and said, hey, James, what's going on here with the Zach LaVine thing?
Yeah.
Look, it's bad enough. We don't need you adding to it. Like,
right. Yeah.
This team you don't need to make stories up. The truth is bad enough.
Yeah.
This team is 2 cheeks. And just, you don't have to make up any stories about how bad they are, man.
That was flat ass cheeks.
It was last night. I texted James like 6 minutes into the first quarter. I was like, they're going to lose by 20 tonight. And I dramatically undershot it.
They're like,
like 20. Bet.
Watch how stupid we make Kyle look.
I was just
Kyle. See, but this is the difference between last night and in the Hawks game. This is funny. Y'all are so bad. It's funny. You're a legit punchline. You're a joke. And all you seem to yeah, Chris, it sucks, man. All right, bro. It's cool. Like, tomorrow you took 3 shots last night. You're part of the problem, man. Like, you were legitimately part of the problem. But like, salute. I'm sorry things aren't going well at work for you.
Yeah, I don't. What is he doing?
I don't know.
3 shots?
Yeah, I don't know.
I've got nothing, man. It's just Kenny Caraway's here.
3 shots, 15 minutes. It's just Precious and Tua took the same amount of shots he did.
It's not. Come on.
Precious is out there playing hard.
Precious plays hard every night.
Yeah.
Precious and Russ play hard every night.
Yeah.
Man. Kenny, how we doing?
I mean, we're doing fine.
Are we?
We're doing fine. I mean, one thing that I personally can do, and I'm here to, to talk to every emotion, everybody that's out there. But me personally, I mean, I can disengage easily. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's other things that entertain me. I watch college sports. You know what I mean? I watch the rest of the NBA. I watch college football. I mean, these guys don't give a damn. So why should I care that much? Matter of fact, for the pro tanking crowd, like, yeah, let's get into it. Let's figure out who we want here. You know what I mean? This particular group, this group of guys that don't give a damn, come on, man. We're going to talk about it because that's what we do. And we're going to be there for everybody that wants to continue to talk about it. But me personally, man, these dudes don't care. They don't care. And here's the thing about it, because I understand the frustration about what was said or what was not said after the game in the Chris Biederman article. But I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care. What the hell is DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine going to say to me to make me feel any different about them and about this team? I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't, at this point, this is how you know you really checked out from the situation. I don't even really care how you play on Saturday. If you rebound from this, if you show some heart, and you play hard, man, I don't care about all that, bro. You showed me your true colors a week ago.
That's it.
I knew exactly. You told me exactly who you were a week ago. And I chose to believe you. And this, I mean, we continue to see more performances like this, you know what I'm saying, with the Memphis. That was a joke or whatever. But a week ago against Atlanta, that's why I was so pissed off about that game, because you showed me exactly who you were. You didn't just lose. You got embarrassed. You quit. I knew who you were at that point.
Yep.
So I feel great. Niners play on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Niners might give me a little playoff push, so I can pivot. Mentally, emotionally, I can pivot.
That's the worst place to be. That's a worse place. That's the worst place a team can put its fans.
Well, let's also be clear too, because we're going to cover this basketball team. They can lose the next 60 games. Like, I'll be locked into what this basketball team is doing, because that's our job. That's why people come here. They come to ESPN 1320. When other radio show hosts say stuff, they come to us to hear what we have to say about different stories. So we'll stay locked in on everything this basketball team is doing. James is one of the most respected insiders in this market as it pertains to covering this team. You're not going to get better Kings coverage than what ESPN 1320 is going to bring you. It's just we're going to be bringing you coverage of a trash basketball team. There's nothing we can do about that part. And yeah, maybe some of the 2-hour conversations will whittle down to 20-minute conversations or 40-minute conversations, because there's only so many times you can go over, well, if they win the lottery, this can happen. Or if they finish in the top 4, if they finish in the top 6. From February to March to April, we'll do exactly what we did that year of the Keegan Murray draft. We'll start looking at draft picks. And if the Sacramento Kings, once they land their spot, we'll figure out exactly, all right, let's go over AJ. Let's go over all of these different players that everybody is buzzing about. You're going to get your Kings coverage here. Just understand when you tune in what we're going to be talking about. There is no roadmap to this basketball team getting better this year.
Nope.
Now, there is a roadmap to this team taking a direction, but there is no roadmap to this team getting better this year. I came to some sad realizations last night. Doug's not making it. Whether it's next season, whether it's this offseason, or whether it's this season, Doug's not making it, and we'll tell you exactly why. I'm not going to tell you now, not for some little cheap tune in 20 minutes thing. It's because James is a reporter, and I don't want him to feel like he has to refute this or corroborate this. But we can tell you exactly why Doug's not going to be back. And I feel like this is exactly what the front office wanted, and that's gross. This stuff, this basketball team has an organizational problem, and it's not getting better. Casey has said this for a long time, and I finally had to do some digging into this last night. People say this basketball team is never going to win with Vivek Ranadive as the owner. You always say people said that about Jed York. They said that about Joe Lacob. Everybody remembers the famous moment where Joe Lacob is getting booed at center court with, I think it was Chris Mullin.
Rick Barry, too.
Rick Barry. Joe Lacob won a title within 5 years of being the owner, and he's won 4 of them within 12. Jed York doesn't have a title, but that team's been to how many Super Bowls since he's been the owner? They were 13-3 the year after he said my team is going to win the NFC West after going 0-5. Came within a game of doing just that year. Kings fans are not wrong about Vivek. It's 13 years of the same pattern. James has been consistent in this. There is one constant. Through Monty McNair, through Vlade Divac, for Pete D'Alessandro, through all of these different people, there's one constant, and it's Vivek Ranadive. And it's going to be really difficult for you to convince me that this basketball team will ever be good with him as the owner. And there's going to be a point, because what's going to happen with Doug Christie is inevitable, and it's gross. And fans are going to react to it. And you think the pandemic was bad for your pocketbook, you're going to feel this firing. Whether this firing happens this season or in the offseason, your punk-ass organization is going to feel it. Because like I said last night, Doug's one of ours. Vivek, you're not. Scott, with all due respect, bro, you're not. You can walk Mike Woodson. You can want your little contingent of New York people in here if you want to. You're not one of us. And this fan base is going to react, as frustrated as they may be, very, very poorly to the firing of Doug Christie, because you set his ass up. You set him up for failure. Jesse called that 2 months ago. You set him up for failure, and we're watching it right now. DeMar DeRozan been a Sacramento King for less than 2 years, and he quit on 2 coaches. That's the type of environment that is allowed to be perpetuated in this organization, and it starts with Vivek Ranadive and that circle he keeps around him. That's why this team is in the position that it's in. That's why this team is going the direction that it's going. Because of him, because of that circle, and because of the decisions they continue to make year after year after year. Monty McNair absolutely failed. There's no question about that. The failure of upgrading this basketball team after Beam Team, no question that is a Monty McNair failure. But I can point to several more instances of Vivek Ranadive's failure, DeMar DeRozan being one of them, Zach LaVine being another. What you could have gotten for De'Aaron Fox, I have no idea. But you could have done better than you got, but you have an owner who gets infatuated with players just like he did with Buddy Hield. Going nowhere fast. But this time, y'all are going to feel it. You will feel it this time, because those ticket prices are too goddamn high. And you already have a fan base that is extremely frustrated with paying them. Go ahead, ho, send out that season ticket renewal right now. Send it out today. Y'all love timing y'all love timing that email perfectly. Send that bitch out today. See how your fan base responds. They are done with you. Y'all gonna feel it. Y'all are gonna feel it.
Mm-hmm.
What makes this time different? Like, why is this the time?
Doug is different. That's why. Doug is different. Doug is not Michael Malone. Doug is not, someone plucked from the Golden State Warriors.
Karl.
Doug is not George Karl. He's not Luke Walton. Doug is part of the only group that this city holds esteem to. In 40 years, there's one group. And it wasn't because Doug averaged 30 a game. It wasn't because Doug was an MVP frontrunner. It wasn't because Doug is a Hall of Famer. It's because Doug busted his ass every single night. This fan base watched Doug bust his ass every single night as a basketball player. They watched him come in and work with the worst possible co-host to get into radio and establish himself in that vicinity. He established himself. He worked his ass to get better and better and better every game he called as a broadcaster. This fan base values guys who, it took what, 5 games for this fan base to fall in love with Russell Westbrook. What's the constant right now? This team sucks, but Russ is working his ass off. Precious is working his ass off. These guys are working their ass off. We see who's not. The difference is Doug is ours. He works his ass off, and this city will always value him. This isn't all of the other guys that you fired in the past because they failed. It is crystal clear. You set Doug Christie up to fail with this basketball team, and it is going to infuriate this fan base.
Yep. It looked that way when the day after Sam Amick's article came out. Where he said it was a 2-year contract with a 3rd-year team option at $2 million per. Like, oh, yeah, I see the vision.
That was so disrespectful. And for that information to get out there, okay. But like I told you guys this, I started covering this team in 2010. Paul Westphal, who had been out of the league for like a decade, begged for the job and got the job because he took less money than everybody else. He made $1.75 million in 2010. In 2015, you're going to pay a guy $2 million. I don't care how much you have to pay Mike Brown. Mm-hmm. That was it. You knew exactly where this thing was going as soon as that came out. Mm-hmm. And for me, again, I have a huge love for Doug, and I get what you're saying, Damian. And I would like to say that he's going to figure this out and everything else. There's no figuring this out.
I don't think it's him that has to figure it out. Yeah. That's what I realized last night. Doug doesn't have anything to figure out. They do. They're the ones who have to figure it out. He doesn't. Mm-hmm. He took over for Mike last year. That team won 7 games. You tell me this is a different basketball coach?
Yeah.
How different is the roster than that moment? It's not that different. Mm-hmm. He can't coach anymore? What was he? Well, I 3 games over 500 last year as the head coach. Mm-hmm. Two games. All of a sudden, he can't coach anymore. The problem's not him. It's not him. It's not him to figure out. It's not for him to figure out. And you know what? We've talked so many times about how Doug, I don't know. You don't want to press that red button. You don't want to press that red button too many times. You got to be strategic with it. Just keep cussing this team out. Because watching Doug last night made me sad. That man was defeated. He's like, I lost by 41 to a team that had 4 wins going into the game. And they got more players out than we do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
I was heartbroken listening to Doug last night.
I mean, that was disgusting. Real quick, Kyle, let them know what we're talking to before we don't even get it.
You're listening to KIFM West Sacramento, KRXQ HD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, Sacramento's sports leader, always free on the Odyssey app. Go ahead, Casey.
I mean, that was disgusting. That was disgusting. That was akin to what we saw last Wednesday. And, I was thinking about this, like, man, it's the same old cycle. And, people will come here, and whether it's Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan or Domantas Sabonis or anybody else, and they'll be able to blame it on Sacramento, blame it on ownership like they always do. I said, nah, man, hell no. Hell no. No, God damn it. We're not doing that. They need something. They need something. They need something in this game. All you guys might be familiar. Kyle, you'd be familiar at Oracle Park. I'm not like big on statues and stuff like that. Like only the top of the top get statues and their jersey retired and all this other stuff. But at Oracle Park, what they do is they do have the little wall of fame where they put the plaque of guys like Marvin Bernard and Ellis Burks and all to tell the story of the Giants. I'm all for that. Like you tell Kirk Reeder is on there. These guys don't deserve no disrespect. They don't require that.
Those are not statue players.
Yeah, statue number. They're not that, but they're part of the story of the franchise. Damn it. Put a plaque up of this group. This is the worst. I almost cursed. This is the worst goddamn Sacramento Kings team I've ever seen. Pound for pound. Pound for pound. This is the worst damn team. Put a plaque of the team photo of their asses. Put their names on it. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, whoever. Unfortunately, Russell Westbrook will have to be on there because this is a team award. I'm not going to get selective. Put Scott Perry's picture up there as well. Bronze it. Do all that. And we talk about the greatest show on court, and that's Sports Illustrated. The trashiest show on court ever in this city. They got to feel this. They got to wear this. This is not, they do not get an opportunity to skate from what they've done and say it's just Sacramento. This group does not get that opportunity. This is disgraceful. What we've seen for the past week and a half is disgraceful. It's an embarrassment from players that are established in the league, and they've shown for 10, 12, 13 years that they're not this bad of basketball players. They're proven. This ain't a bunch of rookies. This ain't Max and Neek coming out here and like, I don't know if they're ready for this. They're getting beat up by 30. This is DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis. They've shown that this is not who they are talent-wise in this league. And you're getting beat up by a bunch of kids in Memphis. It's disgraceful. And I, for one, am not going to allow it's just Sacramento. Sacramento didn't do nothing to you. Didn't do nothing to you for you to quit the way you've done on this city, on this fan base, on yourselves. You've quit on yourselves. That has been disgraceful from this group. So, no, something. So we got creative people in the city. Make something. Names need to be on there. Pictures need to be on there. Put the team photo on there, whatever. We'll post it here in our studios. But they don't get to just, it's Sacramento. I'm just waiting for my time to get out of here. No, you're going to have to wear this, man. You're going to have to wear this. This is trash.
Yeah, I'd add this too. Like they're going to say, oh, this is basketball hell, right? This was 3 years ago, one of the funnest teams in the NBA. Mm-hmm. They were young. They were moving together. Like the mistakes that have been made here are so egregious, but at the same time, like this group of players that are there, they have no excuse. They have no excuse to play this badly. Mm-hmm. We said like yesterday, all they had to do is play with the same intensity that they played against OKC the night before, and they would win. Mm-hmm. It's not that difficult to see. They didn't have Domantas Sabonis the night before. They didn't have Keegan Murray the night before. All you had to do is carry that same intensity to the next game, and this is not a good team. And you go out there and you just look pathetic. And to me, again, I hate watching coaches go down this path because I've seen so many of them. I mean, Del Christie's the 10th head coach I've covered in 16 years in Sacramento. Like, it's not the coaches. It's not them. It's you. And you have got to figure out how you build a functional franchise that doesn't just rip through people like this. This isn't the tech business. There shouldn't be some ability to climb and do whatever you want within the organization. This should be run like a professional sports franchise, and it's not. And here we are once again in the same position we've been in so many times before. And the problem is this time is that you were good 2 years ago, 3 years ago, so you spent the money. And now you can't get out from underneath these contracts. And it's an ugly situation to be in. I don't, like the job ahead for Scott Perry is ugly. But again, I don't understand how, so many times I have said this in the past, like, don't take that job. Like I told Doug Christie when it was Alvin Gentry or him going to be the head coach when they fired Luke Walton. And I said, do not take that job. Do not. Why? I might not ever get a chance again. You don't take the job because you have no chance of succeeding. You will fail and you will get run out of town like everybody else. Don't take the job. Wait until it's a better job. And it was a better job last year. Even when they fired Mike Brown and they inserted Doug Christie in, the job wasn't that bad. He showed. They lost the first game. They won 7 straight. Then you go out and you let a front office that's on their way out the door and an owner influence and trade away your best player and get pennies on the dollar for him. And not only that, but lock you into a contract that is so egregious that they couldn't give it away for 2 first-round picks a year before. It's not all on one person. It's on everybody. But there is always one common denominator. And that is that you cannot let your owner get involved in making decisions for your franchise. We were sitting there at the California Classic, and they were negotiating how much more money DeMar DeRozan would get in the final year of his contract, this buyout year, this next season. The money went up because they wanted to present him at half court at the California Classic and have him do a walkout. Like, what are we doing here?
That's insane.
Like, make good basketball decisions. It's not that difficult. The path forward was not difficult. And you just mucked it up so badly. And now this is where you're at. Like, there won't be a group of Kings fans waiting at the airport to welcome this team home.
You know what's a killer too? Is all this is going to lead to, and congratulations to this Kings group, because you guys have reached a point that I never thought you could get to. I might have been wrong on the 41 or 42 win prediction, but I was like, yeah, some things go wrong. 35 games, 30 games, something like that. I never in my wildest dreams thought you could be like, no, you guys could be the worst record in basketball, and you can get Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, all these, like, you can get that bad. And last night I was like, oh, absolutely, they can get there. Didn't think that would be the case, but this is the killer. You're going to ask some 19-year-old young man to come in here, and the weight of this city will be on his shoulders to save this franchise. Damn near an impossible task. Once again, some 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, save this franchise. It's impossible. It's damn near impossible.
There's only been one that did it in the last decade and a half, and it was De'Aaron Fox.
And how long did it take him?
It took him 7 years. Man. 6 years, whatever it was. But still, he delivered at least one 48-win season in a first-round playoff. Okay. Yep. And you gave him away.
I don't on the Vivek aspect of this, when you start talking about what does this look like in the future, he looms over all of this for me, because whatever plan there is, whatever plan they have, it's going to come down to how much can Vivek take here. Like we were talking about earlier, trading first round picks to get rid of players on the roster. And I'm not there yet. James isn't there yet. A bunch of fans aren't there yet. But what's stopping Vivek on December 16th or December 15th when a bunch of guys become available, being like, yeah, we got to attach picks and we got to make a change. We got to get better. They're going the wrong direction. And I have no reason to believe they're not going to make a wrong turn to go further down a path that gets them further away from contending. Because you can tank, you can do all that. You can try and get picks, and you can try and draft a Darren Peterson. You can try and draft an AJ DeBonsa and start there. But what confidence does anybody have that they're going to do the right stuff after that? Or leading up to that?
No, you shouldn't. All of this, Scott Perry has full autonomy. Yeah, like, it's cute. We've heard this before. Like, he has it. Like, sure. Does he have it today on November 21st? Sure. We've seen this act before. Like, it's like if the Kings go off and win 4 out of 5 in a row, no one's buying it, right? You buying it, James, Kyle, anybody buying it if the Kings win 4 or 5? No, because we've seen too much already this year. And better yet, I'm going to need an explanation as to what the hell we've seen over the last 13 days. So I'm not buying. No, Scott Perry has autonomy. Scott Perry's got dress codes. Scott Perry's he's running the militant operation. Great. For now, he's the latest guy to be able to do it for now. If Scott Perry is the general manager in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, I will sing a different tune. But just like all of the other ones, I expect Scott Perry to be gone in a couple of years because of what James said earlier. That guy does not know how to run an organization, and he does not. Now, let's also be clear what I'm saying. There's a lot of stories about Vivek Ranadive that I don't believe are true. I think there's he wanted Keegan Murray. Everybody else wanted Jaden Ivey, or he wanted Jaden Ivey. Everybody, it's always the opposite of what everyone else wants. Like we've talked about that so many times. I don't believe most of those stories. I believe there are people within this organization who work to make Vivek Ranadive look as stupid as possible when it comes to the media. At the same time, Kyle, like we were talking about with Tim Bontemps when all of this started, the truth is bad enough.
Yep.
You don't have to make stuff up. The truth is bad enough. You can share that with everybody. James has repeatedly said it. There is one constant. That constant is still here, and he has not shown for a single second that his behavior will be different. Until his behavior is different, until the circle of people that he keeps around him, until their behavior is different, it's just a perpetual of bad basketball that lives here in the city of Sacramento in a beautiful arena.
And dog, we've got to be real. I'm like you. Like there's things that we don't believe about the stories or whatever, but and I'm a big believer in like words have power in the way that you speak, in the way that people speak about you as an individual. Like I'm all for self-confidence, believe in yourself, lifting yourself up, even when like I'm all for that. But dog, Vivek, you sorry, bro. You're sorry. Vivek and everybody around him is sorry. You are what you are. Bill Parcells, you are what your record are. You sorry. Like you ain't never got this right. You haven't hired the right people. You haven't fired the right people. You haven't traded the right people. You haven't traded for the right people. You haven't stayed out of the way long enough. Your basketball IQ and acumen is sorry. You're sorry. That's what it is. That's what the hell it is. You're sorry. And the sooner that you realize that you're sorry, you're no good at this, and you let other people do whatever the hell they need to do, maybe things will turn around and you can reap the rewards as far as like monetarily. You know what I mean? You can reap the rewards money-wise. You ain't going to get the credit. I'll tell you that. But monetarily, sure. Yeah, you can reap the rewards for that. But it is what it is. You're sorry at this. You're no good. And until that, the Coach Marion tells us this every Thursday, and he's 100% right. The story and all this other stuff and in the journey and all, don't nobody care about none of that. Nobody cares about any of that, regardless of how true it is. Nobody cares about the journey. They're going to judge you on wins and losses, guns and butter, like my man Melvin said in Baby Boy. They're going to judge you on wins and losses. And if you're being judged on wins and losses, you're sorry. Period.
Yep. That's it. That's what it comes down to. I don't think there's any reason to believe at this point that this gets better anytime soon.
No, it's not.
Drew Eubanks hit his first three last night.
Shout out to him. Once again, better than I gave him credit for.
Well, yeah, another guy that's playing.
Yeah.
Like Drew Eubanks is playing.
He is trying his ass off.
Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, it's tough. That's tough, man.
Everybody gotta be grit with themselves.
I love Doug. But we'll all of this stuff will be, we'll dive deeper into this over the course of the next 4 hours. We'll take phone calls all day, read messages all day. Why didn't Keegan start?
Oh,
it's not a knee injury. It's not a lower body injury. Like, why wouldn't you have him out there at the beginning?
I don't
He
think
played-
he's out of practice or anything with
He's
the
still
team.
what difference would it make? You're not running an offense.
No, I get that.
I mean, he wound up playing 32 minutes. It was just bizarre that.
We do have hindsight now where you're like, okay.
Well, that wasn't hindsight. When
they
I
just
saw
got ran
Precious's
over.
photo on the TV, I was like,
Yeah, I mean, game 1, like game 2, he's gonna start. Like I wasn't so worried about that. I mean, you're gonna let a guy watch the action for a minute and then kind of settle in and go do his
but
thing.
it's a different game, though, isn't it? When you're starting versus when you're coming off the bench, it's a different game.
He didn't start because Memphis has a big front line and they couldn't put DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine on the bench.
You could have put Precious Achua on the bench.
No, but you needed a big.
Yeah, I understood it for game 1, especially after again watching
Tim
them,
Bontemps said Zach LaVine was benched. All right. Sorry.
after watching them compete the night before. I was like, okay, I get it. They competed, and then you're like gonna let him ease into the, go in at the 5-minute mark or whatever in the first quarter, and go ahead and play whatever minutes you can play. I thought to leave him in the game at the end, that was perfect.
Yeah, it's not
Like let him
Sure.
run. let him
it's
get his
not
best on
the
legs.
biggest deal, but
Yeah.
I was confused. And then the game goes the way that it does. And Keegan, he has that lackadaisical pass at, I think it was the end of the first half.
Mhm.
That was Keegan that threw that ball in bounds. And it was like, hold on, man, you've infected him with the sickness. It's I Am Legend. Keegan's the dog. We're gonna have to strangle the goddamn dog.
No,
He got infected with the thing. Like,
no, man.
I'm literally looking at the TV like, not you. You can't do that.
I told Kyle earlier, my biggest concern, it's in the rundown right here. It's right at the top of the rundown, is that the young players played the same brand of basketball the vets did. And I was like, oh no, you've ruined them all.
Man,
No.
ain't nobody. Man, no, hell no, man. Nah,
Stop dribbling.
they need to be smarter than that. They need to be smarter than that.
Yeah.
They 23, 24 years old. Keegan Murray, you 20. Man, do something different.
Yep.
What are you talking about? You see where this has gotten these people. Why would you do the same damn thing?
Yep.
Hell no. Be better. Be better. That's what I don't want to hear for the rest of this time here. Keegan, Neek, Maxine, be better.
Yeah.
You following along with what other people are doing, and you're going to go the same damn route.
Yep.
Be better. You too damn old to follow along. This is what the vets are doing. Man, please, y'all got a mind of your own.
I was just shocked. I was watching it play out. I'm like, hey,
And you could tell from the opening tip.
yeah. Well,
He had
that
no
and,
interest in playing last night.
what does this mean for a guy like Devin Carter who doesn't even get on the court when they had to go young and play the young guys the whole fourth quarter? Realistically, the whole second half.
I'd be pissed off if I was Devin Carter.
Yeah,
I'd be
it's
hot.
wild.
These guys stink. What you mean you ain't playing me? I'd be pissed off. The hell has any of these guys done where I can't get no tick? Nothing. Not one of them. Not one of the 10 people that played ahead of him. Not one of them. I'd be pissed off.
Yep.
If you got a problem with me, Devin Carter, and my effort and my disposition and all this other stuff, and the guys in front of me are doing everything they supposed to do, cool. I'm gonna have to wear that. I ain't gotta wear this. Why am I not playing?
Yep.
These guys stink.
God, if we make it till 4 without cussing.
Whew. Said on the internet last night, if Nick Clifford didn't play 15 minutes in the second half, I was going to swear today on the radio.
Go ahead, guys. Swear away. I got us.
We survived the Rick Ross interview. We can survive today. The thing now for me when it comes to, okay, who's running the show, what's the goal, what's the plan? Like tomorrow needs to be a different starting five. There needs to be some kind of action here at some point. If this is really Scott Perry and Doug Christie and they're building culture, all right, do something then. Something has to look different. If not, then it feels like, oh, it's Vivek and whoever Vivek talks to going, no, we have too many good players. We're going to win some games. The schedule is going to get easier. We just got to keep starting the same guys. It's the definition of insanity.
Yeah, I will
doing the
say
same
this.
thing over again. And
Einstein's definition of insanity. It is not the actual definition of insanity.
no, it's if you look it up, if you Google
No, it
definition
is
of insanity, it's
A whole
it's
generation of people are stupid because of that goddamn quote.
Yeah.
So anyways, as I was saying, somebody said one time, I believe it was Aristotle, said the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing and expecting a different result.
It was
that's what they're-
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare,
Yeah.
Plato, one of the classics.
Yeah.
They said that that's
Bach.
the definition of insanity.
Which can be like
Van Gogh said it. That's why he cut off his ear.
That's right.
shout out Van
'Cause he
Gogh.
tried
That's
the
right.
same
He wanted to
thing.
show. He wanted to do something different.
One ear
Yeah.
Willie. Big ups to him. Look, I'm gonna challenge that just a
They
little
call
bit.
Lance
Like,
Armstrong.
if I shoot a if I shoot a 30-foot 3-pointer, like it's not gonna miss every time. Like what? I'm gonna just not shoot it no more because the definition is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. No, like I'm gonna shoot it expecting to make it. I'm not insane for continuously shooting a 30-foot 3-pointer.
What?
I'm pushing back on doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
All right, cool. And if you're shooting from 30 feet, you're going to hit about 15 to 20% of those.
That's
and
a
the Kings are
different
going to
result.
win about 15 to 20% of their games. Cool.
No, that's a different result. Making and missing is a different result. So one of the times, the one time I make it, that's
Take
a
it
different
up.
result than the other
Hey,
one.
man. Take it up with Plato. He's the one who said that.
Played. Nah, man. Like I hear you, Kyle.
John F.
I hear
Kennedy.
you.
The definition of insanity.
I think that was in his inauguration speech.
Mhm.
I hear
Ask
you.
not what insanity can do for you, but what you can do for insanity.
That's where we're at right now. That's
Oh
what I feel.
yeah, you've read the books. They're behind
And they
you.
killed him for that.
They did. That's exactly why they
Settle down,
killed him.
Kyle. Settle-
Well, not they. He. It was just one guy.
Oh, yeah, one guy.
I think it was Plato.
I do hear you though on the Kings. It's like, yeah, you got to do something different. But do you? Okay, I'll ask you guys this question: do you think Doug Christie is checked out?
No.
No.
I
No,
think
never.
Doug Christie has come to reality.
Is
Like, I
that
think Doug
is that a form of
Christie's-
checking out though?
No.
Because, and what I mean by that is like, all right, man. Like reality's like, all right, I know who these guys are. Like, I've been preaching for the past 2 months. Defense, this, all this. They're not gonna do it. That's a form of checking out. I'm not talking bad about them at all, but I'm just saying that's a form of like, all right, man, I'm gonna stop preaching these things because these dudes ain't gonna listen. And you heard it in the press conference.
Yeah, but I,
You know what I'm saying?
I think that might just be what he's saying publicly, not what he's saying privately. Like, I don't think he stopped coaching at all.
No, but Zach LaVine and DeMar, they haven't literally stopped playing. Like they're still out there playing, but mentally, emotionally, they're gone.
He's gone through the stages of grief, and we're just at the other end. Like, yeah, he's frustrated, but he also realizes that this is a reality. And if you can only do so much without just like going over the top and just doing damage to yourself. And, I think what we saw from him initially was him fighting and now the realization is that they are who they are. I mean, again, I brought this up earlier, but, according to Katie Christensen on the broadcast, Mike Woodson is the one who ran the film session like on Monday and just lambasted them and called them out for every single thing they did. That didn't help. Like,
Right.
A players only meeting is not going to help. A starters only meeting is not going to help. Like, I don't know. That's where you're at. Like, I've been to this point with so many head coaches here where you're like, uh-oh. But this is the first time I felt like the franchise is going to side with, at least for right now, side with the coach or side with the front office and not with the players. And they're ready to launch these guys into the moon just like we are. Because that's what it feels like.
And let me be clear, Doug, I don't think Doug Christie is quitting, but the realization of like these guys ain't gonna get it. If I'm Doug Christie, I'm gonna still come up with my game plan. I'm gonna still scout. I'm gonna still have my substitutes. Like I'm gonna still everything. But I understand these guys don't give a damn.
Yeah,
they don't care.
But
and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that's quitting, but that's maybe a better word is what Kyle said. A realization of like these guys, these veterans, they're not gonna do it.
But I also know here's one major difference that I think with Doug and the guys that you were talking about is this might be it for Doug. No matter how bad Zach is, how bad DeMar is, how bad name a player is, they're gonna have a job. Someone will sign them because all of them will go, it's Vivek. It's the Kings' problem. Doug knows this is it. This very well might be it. And he has to bust his ass every 30-point blowout, every 40-point blowout, every shoot around, every practice to like this man wanted to be a head coach. And this was the hand that was dealt to him.
Yep.
So
He wanted to be this head
That's
coach.
right. Yep, that's right. You're right. I should have said that. You're right.
Yeah, you wanted to be the Kings head coach.
So disrespectful to do this to a guy like Doug Christie.
Bringing our man Eddie Gonzalez live from the city. Eddie, I was thinking of you this morning, man. I got a good one in. I got five in this morning, but each mile was a faster pace.
I like that. I'm not capable of that, so I respect that.
Yeah, no, it was a good one. I got down to, I think, it was only 5 miles. So I think I got down to like 8:05 on the fifth one. So it was good, man. I was like, all right, that was a good one. I'll do a recovery tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to get that extended one in on Sunday.
Yeah, some of us still got bellies. Is it easier or harder running with a 8-pack like you got? Like, how's that work?
You still feel it in your legs, and I think I got some years on you too, so it hits a little different.
Do you guys,
bro? I do. When you do that, I do my long runs on Sundays too. That Monday,
oh yeah,
boy.
Yeah.
Let me ask both of you guys a question because I don't run no miles. I don't do that.
Easy
But
cool.
no, I'm like the Kings. I get my cardio in on the basketball court.
You got shades on in the inside, baby. You is way too cool.
That's where I get my cardio. Me and Zach Levine, we do the same thing. We get our cardio in on the basketball court. That's how we do it.
That's not who. Well, I would not compare yourself to Zach Levine right now, but go ahead.
But do you guys is it on your phone, on your watch, where you mark a mile?
For me, it's my watch. I don't bring my phone with me because the phones are too big now.
Okay.
I have to bring my phone because I need music, and I got my own little bag that I like, a waist bag.
Oh, okay.
I wish I had the mental capacity to run with no music. That sounds like.
Well, no, I've done that before, and it's miserable. I was like, no, I'm gonna go clear my mind. It's stupid.
But you can run with it on your watch.
But I do I pay the $10 a month thing, so the watch has a signal, just so I have music. That's the
I might have to do that. I might have to just do that.
It's worth it. It's worth it because these phones keep getting bigger. You got the cases on it. I just leave the phone at the house. Now, when I do the race, I'll bring the phone with me.
Yeah,
like the phone will be with me. But
bro, the crazy thing.
I'm doing my first turkey trot tomorrow, so I'm officially that person now.
There you go.
The crazy
Never
thing,
thought I'd be him, but here we are.
Both of y'all, do you have like headphones or do you use the AirPods?
AirPods.
That's crazy.
AirPods,
I can't do it, man. I sweat too much, I guess. Like even when I like listen to something while I'm hooping, I got the over the head Beats by Dre joint because like AirPods and like stuff like they be slipping out of my ear because of the sweat.
D-Lo, you making all these excuses, man, or is it just my mic?
No, I heard it. Yeah, I heard it.
What? I'm throwing the head over the head joints. I can't do the AirPods. I don't know.
Go the opposite.
The new ones, the AirPod 2s, they seem like they're in your ear a little bit more.
Those aren't new.
Well, the latest ones that they have.
On like AirPod 4.
I got the ones that don't like log into your ear, basically, like the first ones.
Okay.
Those ones be slipping out. If I'm
get the
updated
quick. Ones. Get the updated ones, and they have.
What's up? What's good? No, it's good.
They have different size tips that you.
Oh my God. Yo! Hey!
I'm trying to help.
No, not on this show. They don't.
Oh
That's a
my gosh! Wow! I was just talking about running, bro.
Let's talk Kings or something now.
Some are bigger,
Don't
some
mix
are
me in
smaller.
the
Just make a little adjustment and you're good to go. Jeez.
I'm gonna go the other way, man. The over the ear, that's like it's too much sweat. It's like it don't work for.
I feel
Yeah.
I got covers on like
Yeah.
you know you put covers on the yeah.
You get
I
on
got
them
those.
long, them things will pull. You'll start
Huh?
yeah, you move them headphones and all of a sudden it's like, what the hell was that?
I had
Yeah,
the
I'm
AirPod Max, and those are cloth all around, and they're hella heavy. But I bought like covers for them. But it was just like it's just gross. It's just like
Here's why.
these right here. So right now.
Here's why Eddie can cook, because this is what I did in New York. You put like I think I had Beats back then, the ones that like went around your head and put in your ear.
Yeah.
But because it's cold, you put the headband over.
now you cook.
Oh, not. And then it gets a little bit louder. Oh my God, that's the move right there.
Hey, what's up, big dog? How you doing, baby?
Yeah,
It was
pretty much.
You don't hear nothing nobody says.
They don't want to hear my men's fitness hour, yo. We losing viewership by the second.
we know it's bad when Eddie's talking about the Kings. we know it's bad.
Because I was halfway skimming the game. Like I was like, it's a mess of a game in general.
Over the Kings.
But I look up and it's a 30-point game. And I'm like, Doug is gonna get fired for this, and this ain't even him. Like this is they're gonna fire him because they gotta do something. But it's like, who's next? And they're gonna do the same thing. And what are they gonna do with these guys? Like, it's disheartening, and it's frustrating for me as a Doug Christie fan because, like, where does he go from here? Is he gonna go on another bench and like work his way through it again? Is he gonna get another opportunity? We know for black coaches, it's few and far between, even in this league. Like, and it's not like he put the best tape out there, no matter what you consider when you take the considerations of the job he did for this team. So it's just disheartening in that sense. Like, we talked about this before. Super happy he got this job. Maybe this is the only job he would have gotten with his resume and the history he had with the team, but it's going to be a tough climb up again to get another job. And it's not necessarily all his fault. Now, he is the coach of the team, so he bears some of the brunt, but you got a mob going out there and they dropping 40 points to some of the Grizzlies. It's like, all right, some of this ain't on this dude.
Eddie, you've been around the league. Obviously, people in the league. You've probably had these type of conversations. Dog, to lose by 30, 40 points in this league, to me, that's not talent. That's not like, oh, this the NBA. Like, oh yeah, this team is 30, 40 points better than us. That's effort. That's giving a damn. That's quitting. That's the difference between quitting and not quitting. Like losing by 20 or 40. Am I right with that?
Absolutely. And it's like it's too early in the season for me to be like, oh, that's a schedule loss, or to be this, that, and the third. You're relatively healthy. They're missing their big guy. Like, they got a lot of stuff going on that team as well. That was the funniest part to me is Grizzlies are a mess. The Grizzlies came out here and played the Knicks, and I'm talking to people around the league and who went to the game and media that was in the locker room, and it was just like, oh, none of those dudes care. They're like, they kind of ruined my day. They didn't care so much, and it was just like, that was a team that just is not out here doing it. They're not happy with their coach. They got all kind of stuff going on themselves. And then to lose to that team, knowing that, like, imagine what your situation looked like and sound like, and how people were feeling around that. And so I know Kings fans are frustrated. I seen the LaMelo Ball rumor, and then LaMelo Ball shut it down. And then I also heard around the way, like, that's kind of not what's going on and this and that. And Kings fans instantly perked up and said, that's not a fix. Like, you're in a place where you need to break this all the way down. There's nothing salvageable here anymore. And you got to just move on to that next phase. And it's going to be a slow, frustrating grind, but it's going to take all that to get back to being competitive. And we talked about this last week. It feels like a couple days ago that they were playing the Warriors, in the playoffs. And it's like, they're on the upswing here. And now it's who knows what's going to happen for the next 3 years.
31, 27, 33, and 41. Those are the amount of points that the Kings have lost in games over the last 14 days. That's not even on the entire season. That's just over the last 14 days. It is so hard to lose games by that many points, much less to do it 4 times. And you talk about what's next. That's what we've been trying to figure out all day is like, what is this basketball team doing next? Because whatever it is, and this is what you just said, this is going to take a long ass time.
Yeah, and I think you're looking at a lot of situations around the league that are hampered by the apron, and you got OKC and the Nets taking advantage of that, sweeping up all these picks, but you had these teams who loaded up on contracts, who took a real run in a way you could have and should have in a previous CBA, and now there's zero flexibility. There's no way to get better. People keep saying all these contracts and all these guys who could and maybe should get traded, but I keep asking the same questions. Why would the other team do that? What other team has the flexibility to put a trade together right now for $40 million of James Harden? Well, you know who does? Some of the teams with other disgruntled players. But if you're the Kings, what necessarily do you do that for Zach LaVine right now? What does that do for you? James has an option this summer, and he can leave if he wants. And even if he stays, you're going to look for $42 million next year for James. If you're the Clippers, why do we do that? Like, what do we do with Zach LaVine? We're looking like one of the worst teams in the league. We're going to try to salvage it. And the same goes for a lot of the other guys who are being mentioned. Ja Morant, now LaMelo Ball, Trae Young. It's like, why are we're making these lateral moves or whatever. You think Trae is better than Zach and DeMar or whatever the combination is. You're making these very slightly vertical moves for what? And those are the only teams with flexibility. And the other teams that do have some flexibility, like the Spurs, we don't need those guys. We're fine where we are. Or, the Nets, we don't want those guys. That's not a tier 1 superstar. And we're not trading our assets for that right now either. And so it's like people are expecting all these changes to happen. And I look at Anthony Davis, the same thing. What team is lining up at the Anthony Davis store right now? People keep saying the Bulls, but why? Like, they started off really competitive. They lost, I think, 5-6 games in a row. They're still competitive again. They just beat the Nuggets. They just had some tough games. It's like, why do they need to get rid of some of their assets to get whatever Anthony Davis is right now and for as expensive as he is? You're not trading for these big contracts anymore. There's a reason why it took so long for Kevin to get traded. There's a reason why Giannis asked out this summer and couldn't get traded. And there's a reason why LeBron is suiting up for the Lakers now, because you can't trade these guys anymore. It's too complicated. Now, this summer, some cap space opens up and some teams get under the apron and some things shake out. Maybe it becomes a little different this summer. But as of right now, no, you just can't do those trades anymore.
And here's the other killer about it, the other terrifying thing. You talk about this taking a long time potentially. The other thing is going through the draft, right? And now you might be bad enough where you get a top 5 pick. And, I know about Darren Peterson. We know about AJ Devonsta. We know about Cam Boozer and all those other guys, Michael Brown. I love his game and everything else like that. But I'm old enough to remember Zion Williamson and what his buzz was coming out of college. I'm old enough to remember guys like Jabari Parker and Andrew Wiggins and what people thought about them coming out of college and coming out of high school and all this other stuff. The draft is littered. Dog, in the same draft that Luka Doncic, Trae Young, all these other guys went into, for the majority of the college basketball year, it was all no. DeAndre Ayton's the number 1 pick, period. Period. So you talk about that, and not only, that you get to that point and you got a draft pick and your top 5 and all this other stuff. Do you know how right you have to be, how lucky you have to be to get one of them? Another example. Tatum, Fox, all those other guys. It was Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball who was the prize of that draft. And they were talking about, and Markelle was a killer at Washington. He looked amazing in Washington.
Markelle was alone.
Yeah.
It was Markelle, he is clearly first. Lonzo is clearly second. And then there's everything after that.
Yeah. So, you talk about the draft, it's like,
the report out there was, the Celtics wouldn't take Tatum at 1 if they had to, or whatever it was, and they traded and they mixed.
Yeah, Danny Ainge said we would have taken the same player at 1 that we took at 3.
And it sounds good now, but like y'all said at the time, it was so clearly Markelle Fultz. And it was so clearly Lonzo Ball. And even if you were a Tatum guy, it was like, he was hurt. Like, we don't know. We don't see. And if he emerges as the best player of that draft, it's like, it's an inexact science. Even tanking doesn't work. You know, you look at what the Nets just went through. They were in a 4-player draft and they get 5. Like, you know, and they had one of the worst records in the league. And it was like, we're all but sewn up to get one of these guys. And it's, again, it's inexact. And I look at Jalen Duren. I was just having this conversation about Jalen Duren. He just turned 22 the other day, and he looks incredible in his 3rd year. Last year, people were wondering if he could be even in the rotation. His rookie year, people were like wondering if he's even in the league. And it's like, you have to have the patience to let Jalen Duren become Jalen Duren. And I think we as fans, and I think this happens to some front offices as well, we see what happens with the Luka, the KD, the LeBrons, and like, these guys hit the ground running. That is the absolute 1% rarity. That doesn't happen. Stephen Curry didn't hit the ground running. James Harden hit the ground running. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit the ground running. Nikola Jokic didn't hit the ground running. Giannis didn't hit the ground running. Like, you make your bones. Yes, winning the lottery is great. And you pick a great player and you go from there. And you pick Paolo Banchero, and now you're in the playoffs for the first time in years. But you make your bones picking 5 to 10, 10 to 15. You make your bones picking 35. And you make that a player who fits your rotation, who is a valuable player. You make that somebody who is something. That's what the Kings are going to have to do for the next few years. If they don't win the lottery, they got to hit on pick 4. If they don't win the lottery, they got to kill it with the 33rd pick of the draft. Like, that's how you make your team. You look at the Thunder, they got Shai from a trade, and that was like kind of fell in their lap and they got lucky. But you hit on Chet, you hit on Jalen. You hit on all these wings they have. They have 19 wings on this roster who are just valuable players. But they have to all be playable guys. You have to draft Casey Wallace. You have to know who he is and draft him and wait it out until he's playable in the playoffs for you. And like, the Kings have not shown the ability to do that, and that's across regimes.
Their first-round draft pick last year couldn't get in a 41-point blowout.
That's crazy.
Their first-round pick.
To let them develop.
Right.
And we've talked about the Halliburton trade before, and I have since flip-flopped because Hallie is a dude.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't have the patience to let Hallie and Fox turn into a thing. And that's 2 all-stars, and now they're 2 all-stars in 2 whole different cities. And so it's like, you have to wait that out. The Thunder thing took years. Like, even when you draft 5 and 3 like the Celtics did, and you get Jalen and you get JT, that took years. You had to wait that out for years. Years of teams of the media saying you got to break those 2 guys up. Doesn't make sense. You had to wait years, and then draft more guys around them to make that work too.
Yeah, but you didn't have to wait years to be competent. You had to wait years to win championships. The Celtics have to be the shortest rebuild in history. They tore that entire 2008 franchise apart, including sending the coach to Los Angeles, bringing this nerdy college coach who was the hit of the NCAA tournament. And what was it, 2 years?
And that's a great point.
From like 20 wins to 40 wins, and then all of a sudden they're contending in the conference every year.
And that's a great point, because you got to find that basketball mind too. You define that mind, whether it's your coach, whether it's GM, your president, whatever you want it to be.
Well, now the nerd runs the organization. Now he's in charge of everything.
He was so smart. They said, no, actually come upstairs and put your understudy in. Yeah. And then when that guy had to get out, I was like, oh, you have another understudy. It's fine. Put him in. And win a title. And again,
he had 3 of them. One of them's in Utah. Now the one who messed up is in Houston. Right.
They were mad they lost him. And he's I know what the record is, but he's a good coach. Yeah. And so again, the Thunder built the same way. They brought it, they got Dagnall, and people didn't know that name, but they trusted what he was bringing. And obviously with Presti and the way he built that team, that's, you know, I can speak from experience now watching what they're doing in Houston. He fell into their lap, but they hired the great mind that they knew would be the coach for this team. And then they had the general manager who they knew was strong-willed enough. And when you hear the stories about Raphael Stone and the way he played hardball to eventually get Kevin for way less than it was supposed to cost, that guy plays no games. So you have to you build this from the ground up, and it has to be a united front all the way around. And I don't think we've had that from the Kings in a long time, unfortunately.
Raphael Stone sounds like a movie villain.
The stories about him sound like one too. It's like, what?
Salute.
Yeah, I just don't know. We talked about this a little bit a few years ago before Beam Team 1 happened. And luckily at that time, we didn't have to experience it. But I know myself and Damian were trying to like tell people who were like, nah, just tear it down, just tear it. Like, I don't think you know what that looks like.
Mm-mm.
I don't think you understand what that looks like. We're mad today.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably looking the type of basketball we see. The characters will change a little bit, but the type of basketball and the type of losses that we're seeing today in this past week for the tear down that everybody says needs to happen and wants to happen. So you're gonna deal with this for at least another 2-3 years,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Like it's nasty. Now the hope is on the other side, you have Cade Cunningham. You know, you have SGA. That eventually you get that guy. Dog, Wemby might end up being the greatest player to ever play the game. He still ain't been to the playoffs.
Wemby won like 20 games this first year.
Yeah.
Maybe about 30 the second.
Dog, it's nasty. It's nasty. And I hope that the Kings defy all odds and they can streamline straight through. But I'd say it's nasty when you talk about tear down, rebuild, do the draft, all this other stuff. It could get ugly.
And it doesn't always work. That's the part people gotta understand too. Like the Rockets, it took years. It took years, and it took some really bad years. Even the Suns who made a finals trip after a long stretch of losing, it took years.
9 straight years, I think, of missing the playoffs.
But that doesn't guarantee you get over the hump and win the title either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you have to take bigger swings at that point to fully capitalize on what you've built. And you look at,
Phoenix is a great example because they had Book.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. They had a guy, and it wasn't enough. They
knew what Book was. And it was like, all right, what do we – and they had to hit in the draft a few more times. Mm-hmm. And you could argue that they didn't hit with Ayton. They should have picked a couple other guys, but they had to hit in the draft for Bridges, had to hit in the draft with Cam, had to surround Book with the guys who made sense for him. Then go hit in free agency with CP, or maybe that was a trade. But point is, they had to go get a guy, and then you compete. And so it's like, getting the guy, that helps. That's first. They're early. But you got to do the rest of the stuff too. There's no shortcuts to this. Nobody just gets a super team. Doesn't matter how great the player is. You get Nikola Jokic, and he's the greatest player in the league. That doesn't guarantee you'll be good. You also have to go get Jamal Murray. You also have to go get Aaron Gordon and make a huge splash with that. You have to get the coach, and you have to get another coach because that coach bumped heads, and it keeps going, and you can't waste those guys when you get them. And that's kind of like what the Kings have to figure out. You got to get your guy, and unfortunately for them, they had a couple guys, and now they're other places. And this might be sacrilegious. De'Aaron Fox is pretty good right now, guys. Like, I don't know how many Spurs games you're watching, and we're not going to see the full Spurs for some time.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. And Tyrese Halliburton looked really good last year. And you're seeing what missing him feels like this year. And the Pacers have been pretty competitive here and there, but those two dudes were good. So you got to get a guy, then you go from there.
Bring this full circle for it. It was Chris Paul got to Phoenix from OKC.
Mm-hmm.
That's why OKC probably got Phoenix's pick stashed away somewhere,
Right.
Just ready to make him and draft another wing.
OKC is a great example. Not even just this current iteration, but even after losing Kevin, they continue to make moves and compound those moves to remain competitive. And they continue to take swings. And they got Chris and they got Paul, and they went on and on. And then when they lost those guys, they still kept swinging. They still kept going to get guys. They had the one of the bigger free agent signings of the year last year. It doesn't sound like a big one, but for what they paid, Isaiah Hartenstein, over $100 million. Mm-hmm. Alex Caruso, big trade of a young guy who was an asset and who was probably going to get paid coming up here in Giddey. Like, you have to remain aggressive and you have to make the right moves. And sometimes they're going to be the wrong moves. Sometimes you're going to trade for some guys who don't make sense and this and that. But again, you got to remain aggressive. And the Thunder, much like the Nuggets, much like the Warriors, you get hit in the draft. You have to hit in the draft when you get a chance. And you have to hit in the draft when you don't have a chance. Mm-hmm. And that's how you make these teams work.
It's like Scott Perry has to, like, people are going to spend the next couple of weeks pulling out their Christmas decorations. and they think they organized them all properly to make it easy for the next year. But all the lights are tangled up.
Yeah.
That's Scott Perry. Scott Perry's going to spend the next year untangling all the lights that Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox just ripped off the tree and threw in a box. And he's got to untangle these lights before he can put up the decorations. And the kids are getting anxious. The kids are getting a little frustrated that they can't put the Christmas lights up. And now we're just sitting around waiting for something to happen, hoping it happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be a journey, and it's unfortunate for Kings fans. And going back to the original topic of the conversation, I feel bad for Doug Christie. Like I tweeted, he the analogy I used, and people updated the analogy, gave me better examples and stuff. But they gave him an 02 Camry, and they said win the Daytona 500, and it's just not. Now they're mad at him because he couldn't, or I don't know if they're mad at him or not. I haven't paid attention to how the front office feels about Doug, but when somebody has to go, it's going to be Doug.
We don't think the front office buys Doug at all.
So, and that's unfortunate for him. He did, I'm not gonna say he got a raw deal because he got a chance to swing at a NBA gig, and a lot of guys don't get that, but he got a raw deal in the sense of he didn't necessarily have the tools to succeed in this role. And now, whether he's lost the team or whether the guys are always whoever you want to blame it on, he'll be the first shoe to fall. And you hate to see that, but hopefully there's something else for him out there, and he can work his way back to it. I think Doug's a great guy, and I want to see him succeed.
Washington Wizards 1-13. They have a point differential of negative 16.3. Second is the Sacramento Kings 3-13. They have a negative point differential, or a point differential of negative 13.4. It's bad, man. It's bad.
I mean, it's room over here in Houston, man. We're looking good. I mean, I'm watching this game tonight.
Yeah, Houston's fun to watch.
That's gonna be a good game tonight. I'm tapped in.
That's the best, Eddie. Is that the best 3-point shooting team in the league?
I think like they percentage-wise, they don't shoot a lot of threes. Like
okay.
They're
Keon Ellis. Yeah. Keon Ellis, he's a 40% 3-point shooter. Yeah, but he shoots 4 threes a game or 3 threes a game. That's Houston, because I think they're shooting like 43%, but they shoot that low number because everybody can hit in the. I think they have the highest percentage and the lowest amount of attempts.
Yeah, the Rockets' profile is they don't shoot a lot of threes, but they get the most offensive rebounds in the league, and they make the threes and they shoot them, which is
Steven Adams wears a Rockets uniform.
Recipe.
That's why.
It's a great recipe, and they haven't been their full team yet this year, and they won't probably for another 4 weeks either. As Tari's out, and you're waiting for Dorian to come back, but it's been fun to watch. I mean, talking to Kevin the other night, he shot it bad. I thought he played well, but he missed a lot of shots, but it was like it's a relief to play like that, contribute in other ways, and still win the game. They were running away with that game for quite a while against the Cavs, and then it got close, and then Alfred stepped up late. But one thing he said is like, he said it on my stream on playback, not to plug it, but I called him after the Magic game, and he was like, one thing about these young dudes, they don't quit. Like, I know they're going to play hard all night, the entire night. You know what I mean? And then I chip in and do my stuff where I do it, but they're not going to quit. And they've shown that they're a physical team, they're a fast team. And like he said, they don't quit. They keep going. And it has some pretty big wins. Did
you notice that weird little trend with the Magic?
Which one?
They've won like 5 of 6.
That's not a bad team, man.
Well, they're winning without Paolo.
Yeah, and I know what people make it of. And, during the summer and last year, people were wondering him or Franz. And, I think they're just an odd fit. And the problem is neither one of them are great shooters. I think one of the things that's been sneaky is Desmond Baines woke up, and he had a hell of a game against the Rockets. He had a hell of a game the other night against the Warriors too, and I think he's finally woken up. He started the season really rough. He's been hitting some big shots for them dudes. They're coming around. I think, look, when Paolo comes back, that narrative is going to start picking up, and he's got to find ways to contribute towards winning because it was looking rough right before that. But it's a long season, and I'm a big Paolo Banchero fan. So I hope to see him come in, chip in, and be the guy he is as a former number 1 pick and a real talent.
Now the nerds are ready. The nerds were started at the beginning of the season. The turn on Paolo and not winning player. And if you really look at his PER, he's actually not Yeah,
I'm not
they was
saying
ready.
none of that stuff. All I'm saying is the team was struggling. Palo went out and they won 5 of 6. That's just a casual observation.
What I will say about
It's
Palo
no
is,
different than Atlanta. Atlanta's been winning games without Trey Young, and it's like, all right.
yeah, and that team is nasty. That is a tough mob of dudes they have over there. They're really athletic.
Atlanta.
Their wings are really long. They're in all the passing lanes. Dyson Daniels is nasty, and so
Yeah, they're moving the ball a lot too, like Chicago is. Like they're moving the ball a ton.
you have these modern teams, and I always say the Thunder are like the perfect modern style of basketball team, and everybody's long, everybody's super active defensively, everybody shoots. Now, are they all great shooters? No, but they're good enough to where you have to go out there, chase them down, and they will knock some down. And that's kind of what you're doing with the Hawks. It's kind of what you want to do with the Magic, but Paolo and Franz aren't great shooters like you would hope they would be. But that is kind of that modern team. And when you watch the Bulls, who just their center just made a game-winning 3, it's the same recipe there too. We're all gonna be long. We're gonna be fast and fly, and we're gonna shoot as many threes as we can. And that's the game now, and that's how you got to win.
Yeah. I'm still, obviously it's always Kings, but and I want to see Houston win or whatever, but going to that Knicks state, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to that Knicks state, baby. We out on the Garden, right on Cat Avenue.
Shout out to them.
Right on Cat Avenue, baby. You know what I mean? Jalen Brunson Way. You know what I mean?
Finally won a game on the road. Congrats.
Kenny actually makes me hate the Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have I have no problem with the Knicks, but Kenny makes me hate them.
OG Boulevard, baby. You saw what it was last year. Stop playing with us. Big
come out here and
Brunson,
catch a
stop
game.
playing.
Man.
You know the vibes.
You gotta come out here and catch a game.
I do. I've never been to the Garden, man. I got to get to the Garden.
All right, the Garden, I will say, it lives up to the hype. It lives up to the hype. I was a big Barclays guy for obvious reasons. It just feels different in the Garden. Whether it's a concert, whether it's a game, it just feels more important. I can't hate.
Eddie, we're gonna be out there at Christmas, man. If you're around, we got to come see you.
What? Say less.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
we're getting up. We're gonna go eat. We'll go drink. Y'all still drink? Y'all some healthy dudes.
Bet. I've cut back a little bit. I've cut back a lot. I actually haven't had a drink in almost 2 months.
Yeah, I'm not drinking too much either, but I'm going out.
It's not conducive to what we're doing with our downtime when we're out there. It is not. Those two things do not go hand in hand. So it was just best to hey, let's put this away for a little while.
I had a buddy in the league. He got a little older. He's younger than me. It was around his birthday. That's why this happened. But he played in a game in a very exciting city that he wasn't supposed to play in. He was told beforehand he wasn't going to play. And then the day of, it's like, oh, you got to play because this person's out. Oh man, he had a long night. Long night. It was like, man, it don't wear off like it used to.
Yeah.
4:30 won the game. Like, don't. Yeah. But it was like, yeah, I'm not. I 26 no more. I was like, yo, look, you should talk to me. I'm 39, boy. If I go out on Saturday, I ain't working out till Wednesday. What you mean?
I ain't got there yet. But I also don't drink that much. Like I have a drink just to wet my beat. You know what I mean? But I ain't drinking like that. It's been a long time since I experienced like drogginess from drinking the night before and nothing like that. But once again, I don't drink that much either.
We older and more mature now, so it's like we know when to stop. We know stuff like that. But you have a night here and there where it's like, when you out too. Like if I had this last drink, it's gonna
be the one.
It's gonna change after this.
Yeah, it's gonna be the one right here.
See, you know what it is though too. Is at least in my household, the 2-year-old don't care about what I did the night before. Wake up, perform your daddy duties. Bottom line. So I just condition my head like it. Even if I was hungover, I better snap out of it.
I'm done with that. Like, brother. My youngest is 12. I'm almost.
I
end up being a grandpa before I have another baby, and I'm like, and this grandpa baby, I don't gotta wake up. That's all you. But yeah, man, it's it don't. It take a little longer than it used to. Used to just right to it. But
not built like that no more.
I try to. We celebrating a birthday out here this week, so
there you go.
Like, ain't no telling how the weekend gonna go. But I still gotta get this run in.
Hydrate in advance, dog. Hydrate in advance.
Look, I done learned that trick. Come on.
Yeah. Maybe a little Excedrin before you had that first drink, a little Tylenol, whatever, you'd be good to go.
Look, if you catch me out and I got French fries, just know I'm holding on for dear life, gang.
Yeah.
Don't ask me for too much right now.
Yeah, French fries are the go-to. But yeah, we're gonna link
Every
up when we
time.
get out there, man.
Every time, fellas. Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate you, bro. Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna see y'all for the holidays. I'm guessing we not talking
Yeah,
next
yeah.
Friday.
No, we
Happy
all
holidays. White, light meat, dark meat.
Dark.
Yeah. Come on, man. Dark's better.
Dark.
Pumpkin pie, sweet potato.
Neither.
Yeah, pass.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we ain't
Pass.
doing that. Yeah, no.
Pass.
Best
Nah.
side.
It's either macaroni and cheese or it's stuffing. It depends on who makes either one of them, though.
Okay.
Mac and cheese if it's made by me. Greens if it's made by someone experienced.
I'm a Mac person myself. So.
Yeah.
It depends. Some people I don't like the way they make them. So, I get
because some people don't make it right. That's why.
I get a little picky. But if it's made right, that's number one.
Yeah, we ain't got that problem over here. We get taken. We well fed, my good brother.
There you go.
Yeah, but I'm with
There
you.
you go.
Dark meat, mac and cheese. That's all I really need. Little mashed potatoes. Pumpkin pie. Y'all crazy. Don't skip pumpkin pie.
No, man. Absolutely not.
My mom
We end
makes
up with like 3 or 4 of them
like
over here.
No.
My daughter, my 12-year-old like it now too with the whipped cream.
I'll have some water for dessert. I'm good. Just give me a scoop of the whipped cream and call it a day.
Yeah, see, that's why you got an 8-pack and I got a belly. See?
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a man, Eddie Gonzalez right there.